Mother, man.
Hey guys, this is James from Jungle Rat, and you're listening to Murder, Metal, Mayhem.
Spreading faster than a case of the clap in a trailer court. Able to shatter eardrums within a 666-mile radius. A podcast more brutal than all the rest. It's Murder, Metal, Mayhem!
Well, what the fuck is up, you son of a bitches?
What's going on, motherfuckers? How you doing on this gloomy Tuesday
Yeah,
evening?
very gloomy, very London-like over here today. Chilly, rainy, kind of shitty, but it is Tuesday. And we're bringing in a very special Mother's Day episode.
Yeah.
Always a classic.
I just wish it would thunderstorm again.
Well, this story is a little bit of a stormy, just fucking mess of bullshit.
Yes, it is.
Definitely a good one, and a very obscure, I would think, one in regard to true crime fans. Probably not aware of this story because I had no idea. Man.
Yeah, I had no idea. So you told me about it, and I was like, oh, this is fucked.
So it's going to be good. And we got Joey Goremonger still here.
Is it sixth time?
The sixth time in a row, yeah.
Fuck yeah,
so
dude.
I have not been able to evict you because of the COVID-19. So you're permanently here.
I ate my meals.
You
there.
ate your dinner, an apple and a bag of chips. Yeah. That's all we ration him. We just give him like a bag lunch.
Like, toss it under the door for him. Like, hey.
And we got my daughter Katie Altieri in here with us. And
How's it
Katie,
going, Katie?
what's
hey
up?
guys.
She's been on the show. If anybody's a fan of Murder Metal Mayhem, been listening for a while. Episode 14, we did that one on Billy Milligan, and Katie has a master's degree in criminal investigations and works with troubled kids. And for the story we got at hand tonight, that's definitely fitting.
It's perfectly fitting.
Yeah, and I thought, what a perfect resource is Katie to come in and talk, because the Billy Milligan case was pretty crazy, if you remember, Katie. That was pretty
Insane.
nuts.
Literally
23
insane.
personalities and pretty over the top. This is not that. This is something altogether different, but definitely a situation of some kids at some serious fucking crisis.
And one that got murdered.
Yeah, unfortunately. So yeah, even though I've just got a high school diploma, Katie, I'm
you're doing better than me, dude.
I'm going to try to go toe to toe. I mean, Chris and I have interviewed PhDs before, so we're I think we're going to be okay. Now we've done two other Mother's Day specials, Chris. Last year, of course, on Barbara Opal. That was one you
Mom
suggested.
said kill.
Yeah. Beat her boss to death with baseball bats, her kids.
Yeah, maybe in the basement, and then he made them clean it up and shit.
Yeah, and like a 6-year-old kid cleaning blood
and brain matter and shit.
I mean,
fuck, dude.
That was a fucked up story. And so we had a listener, Stephanie, the listener that won the contest. She suggested, after listening to that episode, she sent an email in and suggested that we watch this Goodnight Sugar Babe, this documentary.
Which is fucked.
And I'm like, okay, that's cool. And so I was like just got done watching a series or something. I'm like, I don't know. What do you want to watch, And I thought of that. I'm like, you know what? Let's check this out on Prime. And I was just like, holy shit. Like, I've just hit like white trash gold here with this one.
Ain't no bullshit,
So
dude.
it is fucking crazy.
Shit, like my eyes were glued. Cashman couldn't look at it.
Yeah.
It was bad. It was bad.
It was rough imagery.
It is. And, the second one, so we did Barbara Opal. Then we followed that up with Catherine Knight, the Australian cannibal.
All she wants to do is slice you up and display your skin.
In one piece.
Motherfucker.
Skin
I
your
ain't gonna lie,
boyfriend
I don't
in
know
one
if I
piece of
could-
skin. That's fucked up,
That's
man.
talent.
Yeah, I can't sleep in the
goals.
same bed as
Yeah.
a chick that sleeps with a rack of knives
No.
above the headboard, bro.
No
I'm
way.
like, no, ain't happening.
Dude, can you imagine if she could have hooked up Ed Gein and cut him one
Oh,
slice
wow.
of soup?
Oh my god,
Dude,
dude.
Gene would have paid top shelf for that.
Fuck yeah,
man.
he would have. Holy shit, I didn't even think of that.
Wow. So we've done some real gems here on Mother's Day. So I think Sugar Babe is definitely right up there with these pieces of shit. And last week, it's kind of funny, we're on this female kick here lately. We did Eileen Warnos, which was another brutal fucking bitch.
And that's Stephanie's win right there.
And Stephanie won, and she got to pick the topic, and that was cool. And because Warnos was the one that won the March Mayhem contest, so that was just a cool tie-in there. And we had over 800 listens in the first 24 hours, which was amazing for us. That broke a record. And so Stephanie from Toledo, Ohio, she was on there with us. That was really fun. And Joey, you were here. You told the second part of your fucked up neighbor story. That's some good stuff, dude. I was laughing listening to that driving in my car like, what the fuck? Because we've all had them, dude.
It's very relatable.
I mean, everybody's had a fucked up neighbor, right? Or you've been the fucked up neighbor.
Like I said, I'm probably the fucked up neighbor.
Yeah, I was just going to I actually had an idea one time for a sitcom. I thought, call it Those Idiots Next Door, and have two dysfunctional families next door to each other, and each think that the other's an idiot and that they're totally normal.
They're
both fucked up. You know, I thought that would have been pretty funny.
That'd be pretty funny, dude.
So, but anyway, we had CK on talking about the band Violence. Finally going to do, Joey, a band without the hyphen this week.
Yeah.
Propane the week before. Violence, which is so goofy the way they did it. And we also talked about that Murder in the Front Row documentary. Still trying to reach out to those guys, get them on.
Yeah.
That is such a good documentary. I was loving that. I'm going to watch it again. We had the first or a piece of that Jungle Rot interview we did with James Janens, that's a bass player. And the usual craziness, man. It was a good time. Did come on Eileen for the episode as the karaoke.
You bring it here, I'll do it.
So it was definitely a good one. So go listen to episode 95 if you missed that. So now tonight we're going to be doing a feature on the murder of Vera Jo Reigle. Some of you probably never heard about this horrible 2011 murder in Northwest Ohio, but we heard about the documentary Good Night Sugar Babe. It mentioned that Steph from Toledo told us about that. The main person in the documentary is this chick called Sugar Babe, and it is,
What I think is fucked up is like they say that her name's Sugar Babe. That's what she goes by. But everybody in the document, like only the one time in the beginning is when they ever call her that. After that, it's always
she said
Sherry.
that like her dad called her that.
Yeah, which makes it really fucked up.
And do you know what that is? A sugar babe?
No.
Because like I said, it is a candy, but it's also so you have a sugar mom or a sugar daddy. Right? The person benefiting is the sugar
baby.
Yeah. What the fuck? That is so weird.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know if that tied into why he called her that or not.
Oh, that's fucked up. That even makes it that much worse.
That's fucking.
So it's a horrible thing. We'll tell you the story, but it's some serious Springer shit all the way down to the rotten teeth. The eyes just a little too far apart. That one chick with the fucking little tiny eyes look like a pig. I was like, what the fuck? Please. I can't unsee this.
No, you can't.
So it's just crazy. White trash bullshit, horrible acts upon humans you've ever heard of. And we'll school you on it tonight.
Ridiculous.
But happy Mother's Day to all the great moms out there that are not this total piece of shit.
Not out there fucking raising your kids to be like this. Fuck.
No. We, of course, point out the absurd and crazy bitches on Mother's Day, but we know that, we are fully in support of all the good moms out there. So no slight to you. We're just having some fun with this. Because this is a fucking train wreck here.
It is. I mean, the sad part is I feel bad. I kind of feel bad calling this a train wreck given the circumstances.
Yeah, true,
I kind of feel bad calling it a train wreck.
Yeah, that's pretty fun. Yeah, I didn't either. But now that you say that, that's pretty messed up. Now, CK's ready to go down on Wildman Street in Danbury for a metal segment on a female-fronted band, the Plastmatics. Kind of a wacky idea, but Wendy O. Williams is crazy as hell, so she definitely
this is seriously
a good
new to
one.
me. I have
I couldn't think of the name once they said Wendy O. Williams is the vote. I was like,
yeah.
Now I remember that.
Yeah.
Because me and him were both at his house. I'm like, man, I can't remember if I know that band.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Yeah.
Wendy O. Williams for sure.
Yeah,
The
she's
name
crazy,
rings a bell,
man.
but I don't like. I have no
she
idea.
was all hanging with Lemmy, and it was a good time.
I'm about to get schooled.
We got a new Killer Cage match to do tonight. We're going to do it in the metal segment instead because we've got the two metal chicks fighting to death. Lita Ford going up against Wendy O. Williams, so it should be a good time. And thanks to listeners, Chris, we got 3 women, which is funny, keeping with the female theme.
Man. We got Jess Brown, Carolyn, and Chantel Penner.
Yeah.
With them random numbers, tell them we're going to fight with.
That's right. And they're going to fight it out with those 2 objects and variable that the ladies selected with their numbers, and it should be a good time. And we'll do that in the metal segment. I've got a good story for Mayhem tonight, guys. Should be funny. I had forgotten about it. It is a work-related story I've told a lot of times, but you guys, I think, will enjoy it. It's pretty funny. Huge thanks to our sponsor, spellboundeffectsandart.com. Holy shit.
Oh, my God,
We got to see something today. We've been talking about this. Tony Campagna, spellboundeffectsandart.com, sends us this lamp, the arm, the dick,
the
fucking
thumb drive,
the thumb drive, all this crazy shit. Yeah, the other arm he sent with my name carved in it. And he keeps sending us this stuff. And so we had gone to him and said, Tony, look, we got the 100th episode coming up. You need to do something special. We had an idea.
Very
simple idea. Tony's like, I've got an idea myself. And so I just let him run with it. And he contacted me today, and he showed me a picture, and we're going to keep this secret.
We're not showing any pictures or talking about it.
Tony and I talked
this.
about maybe a close-up, like a tease, but nothing more than just a real tight shot of something.
Of a certain spot.
To be honest, I don't even know, like, if you tried to describe it, it still wouldn't. No.
For real, dude. Out of the pictures, yeah.
The pictures, the video he sent is unfucking believable. I can't even wait to unload this thing. And get it here for the 100th
that'll
episode.
That'll be the 100th episode.
It's going to be sick. So that'll be coming up on Demonic Possession. But huge thanks to spellboundeffectsandart.com. So amazing. Tony. We've got a new mask. More shit coming in. Sick Rick masks. We already have his Gacy Pogo mask. Of course, the Albert Fish Gray mask. And I don't know why Fish is looking that way. Is he like...
I thought he was
making eyes at Gacy.
What happened?
I don't know. No, he's not. Somebody must have bumped him, but that's okay.
I must have bumped him, dude.
Maybe he did that himself.
Dude.
Yeah.
Casey's not even trying to look at him like, nope.
The Venom black metal mask, of course, is the baddest of all. The Dominus mask on the inverted cross stand from Rick. Amazing. So we needed to keep Ed Gein company because he's over here on the flame wall with nobody over there with him.
Dude.
So we're going to get him.
I would have figured that Casey would have been on the flame wall.
Oh, there you go. True.
Gotcha.
Maybe I'll have to switch him around. But no, we've got H.H. Holmes coming.
Fuck yeah, dude.
In
and it
sepia,
looks
too. It looks really cool. Rick just outdid himself with a really cool rendition of that. And it's on its way, so we'll have that for the next podcast. But really cool. I bought that poster from John Borowski. Kind of funny why I decided to get the mask eventually. Because I've always wanted to get it. Other stuff was more important. But I got that H.H. Holmes poster.
But a poster made the mask important.
It did. Because I'm like, we can do the same thing as I did with the Gacy one.
Right.
So yeah, I'm like,
I just think it's funny. I'll put the mask on. Oh, this poster. Now I need the mask.
Yeah,
Shit.
now I need the mask to go with the poster.
Hell yeah.
So sickrickmasks.com. That's SIKRIK masks.com. And always we link to everything in the episode description. But if you're into serial killers, monsters, all sorts of cool shit, he's got that chick from Guar. He's got
Sly Menstrate. That Sly Menstrate mask is so awesome.
That's really cool. He's got some really good stuff on there. So it's not just serial killers, but you can get him to wear or to display. He'll put eyes in them or not. So huge thanks to everybody out there listening. We really appreciate it. Thanks to all you guys checking it out. Chris, can you believe it? We finally hit 200,000 and early, man. We were hoping by June 1st, and
we beat it.
We already got there. By May 1st, we hit it.
Yeah,
so
thanks for everybody out there listening. Thanks for everybody spreading the word. And
that's really awesome.
Keep it up, man. I love y'all. Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, last week we had about 2,600 total listens, which is really good. It's an up week. So thank you, everybody, spreading that word like a case of the clap in a trailer park, like we always say. We should do an advertisement for the clapper. I just had that idea with you doing that. Yeah, that's a must, Joey. All right, so we have a ton of shit to do.
Oh, make a video, dude. Fuck yeah, dude.
So we got a lot of stuff on our plate tonight, guys. A whole bunch of white trash people trying to do some really bad shit to a defenseless girl and set her corpse on some fucking train tracks. So what do we got to do, dude?
It's about to get super white trash gangster murderish in this bitch.
God damn.
Skinless. Kind of makes you feel skinless.
It does. Overlord is the song. Holy shit. That is like a fucking freight train, man.
God damn, dude. It's awesome.
It's a good one to talk about a freight train trying to make somebody skinless.
I keep...
Holy fucking balls, dude.
Wow, like I planned it that way. We still got Katie here. She's not ran out of the room yet. Joey Goremonger won't leave the room.
Nope.
So Katie, even on a break, he won't leave because I think he's afraid we'll lock the door and won't let him back in. I don't know.
Is it that he won't leave or we won't let him leave?
That's possible. Like Alex Lifeson in Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah, like you ain't going.
We didn't kidnap you. All right, so the murder of Vera Jo Reigle, very, very sad story, March of 2011. The bloody, naked body of this 24-year-old Vera Jo Reigle was found on some train tracks in the northwest Ohio town of Findlay. The killers, actually members of a family and a girlfriend, but the way this whole horrible thing went down is just fucking awful.
It is bad. They treated this girl like shit.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to watch this, and I know that we're making fun. We always do. It's the show. It's what we do. But really, I mean, this is just an absolutely dreadful story. But we're poking fun at this family.
Yeah, not what they did. Them in particular. Yeah, I'm gonna make fun of their asses.
Just the way they did what they did is just really fucked up. And we'll get to it. The ringleader of the family is Sherry Brooks, known to her friends as Sugar Babe. And she's anything but a babe or sweet like sugar. Ooh. She is a fat, nasty, toothless skank. And she's the one we're going to be kind of focusing on this Mother's Day. So.
I mean, if we don't do a fucking commercial about fucking Brooks Dental School.
Yeah, we did.
No, we did. Yeah, we did.
It's on there.
We did. Yeah,
it's on here. Yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah. Sugar Babe Family.
I guess I did.
Sugar Babe Family Dentistry.
Yeah.
But that was totally coincidental because I didn't know you did that.
Right?
So,
yeah.
Just good thinking. Huh?
Yeah, no, that's funny. That's
when Nate brought me out, we did that.
So it's a good one for Mother's Day. We got all the information on this story from a single source for the most part. It's a documentary that is currently seen only on Amazon Prime called Goodnight Sugar Babe. I like this by Bad Mother Pictures.
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, I saw it the last time I watched it. I noticed it. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool.
That makes fucking sense.
Yeah, it features lots of interviews with the family and their close friends. It is deeply sympathetic, as it should be, to the victim, Vera Jo, and very down on the scumbags that let it happen. For the record, though, the information we're using is from that source. We're not meant to be doing anything more than entertaining here. We're not a podcast that does news, hard news.
No.
We're just doing a comedic.
We just have a dark sense of humor sometimes.
Yeah,
and
so
it is what it is.
We normally don't even say stuff like this because we've always said if you're listening to something called Murder, Metal, Mayhem, you should pretty much expect what we do. But when it's really bad like this, I feel it just warrants just a little
bit
extra
of disclaimer
because it is really a bad story. All right, but we're not trying to demean the victims in any way, and we're not saying anyone's guilty or innocent. That's for courts to decide. We're just a couple of idiots in a garage doing a podcast. So,
yeah,
and we got two other people here with us. I'm not calling you guys idiots, okay? But me and Chris are idiots. So we're lucky to have Katie here with us. In full disclosure, as I said earlier, she is my daughter, but she does have a master's degree in criminal investigations with a bachelor's in criminal justice. She works with troubled kids and has for many years. We thought her expertise in that capacity would be very helpful here. Katie, you were on the Billy Milligan episode 14, as we said earlier. And so that was interesting. And you're a very diverse expert. And so this was a good, I thought, fit for you. So what you doing over there? How you doing?
I'm doing okay.
Anything I forgot to say or add? Or
no, I don't think so. I do think my degree being in criminal justice, but being a little bit more of a social worker and working with kids, does kind of make me a good fit for this episode and talking about this case. I will agree that watching this was really difficult.
Yeah.
You asked me, are you going to watch it more than once so that you can brush up? I was like, that's a hard pass for me. I
never need to see that again.
No, I barely made it through the first time. In fact, after you almost could have made a meme. I stared out of the window and it was like, "Hello, darkness, my old friend." I was just like, I cannot live in a world where people like this also live.
Yeah.
It was so rough for me.
So bad.
Don't
really
ever go
bad.
to Ohio.
No,
That's all of Ohio.
I'm good.
now, Chris,
who was it? I was talking to a dude at work today, and he's like, I think I don't remember what state he said is the fucking Alabama of the Midwest. I was like, no, Ohio is the Alabama of the Midwest.
well, I don't want to put down the people of
No,
Ohio.
I don't want to put down the people of Ohio.
These
or
motherfuckers
Alabama,
are really
God
bad,
damn it,
man.
dude.
And the homies I hang out with from Ohio, Jesse Butt Chugging.
Oh, there you go.
I mean,
Yes.
that's Ohio to me. So.
Now, Chris and Joey, you guys got to watch this. What did you think about it, man?
I mean, like we just said, it's visually hard to watch. I watched it twice.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that many ugly people in one film in my life.
Every fucking buddy is like, how are you all not related? All of you.
I think they all are.
Not all of them. Some of them.
Yeah, there were a few friends, but yeah, a lot of them are related,
yeah.
which is kind of fucked up.
And listening to him talk, it's just so fucked up. That one dude just never stopped smiling.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like a tick or something.
Yeah.
He kept
It
smiling
was
like
probably
that.
slow.
Oh, they all were, and that's
Right.
what I'm saying. We're not here to try to make fun of that, but it's just the way that these people acted is just so fucking over the
I
top.
told
It's
Chris,
like cartoon characters.
I sat there and watched it because, of course, I got to see it because we were doing the podcast about it,
Right.
But, Chris would say, man, that shit was rough, and I got a tooth problem right now, so seeing all these people with no teeth, I was like, God damn. But, I was saying earlier, I had to go home and then, look up newspaper articles about, the Vera Jo Reigle case and everything else. I had to see some other things because it was just so hard to get distracted with what they were showing you.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like, man, I really just want to focus on the case and the details, but you guys are fucking my head up with all this shit.
Yeah.
I think I may be a crip. I'm not sure now.
Yeah, I don't think the 211 boys and all this shit.
Fuck yeah, boy.
All the fucking gang shit in those pictures. Anyway, so
fucked.
Findlay is a town of about 40,000 people in northwest Ohio, about 40 miles from Toledo. And speaking of Toledo, we mentioned Stephanie Ruskinoff, who won the March Mayhem contest, suggested that we watch this documentary. So this is all Stephanie's fault.
This is her hometown.
So
Not hometown, but you know what I mean.
close by.
Not making fun of your stuff. I'm just kidding.
I watched it with my wife, and we were blown away. I mean, I knew we had to do it, replace, the killer that we were gonna do, which was Andrea Yates. When I saw this, I'm like, man, as brutal as that case was, I just thought this is just, I couldn't wait a year to do it. So I was like,
Yates
fuck
later.
it. Like, yeah, Yates could be done at another time. But of course, she drowned her kids in a bathtub, postpartum depression situation. That was real big in the 90s. I can't remember
Susan
exactly
Smith?
when that happened. Susan Smith was another one.
She
with
drive the kids.
drove them into the water.
Susan Smith went into the water. Yeah.
Yeah, that was
so
fucked
that
up.
she could get the boyfriend that didn't want kids.
Yep.
And then,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could do like a whole thing with all that.
Oh, you could. That one in Clinton that
Yeah,
happened to. Now, Findlay is known as Flag City, USA because of a huge push one of their citizens made from 1968 to 1974 to have thousands of flags flying in the city to show his patriotism. The U.S. House of Representatives named it Flag City, USA. So too bad that on 300 Center Street was a house full of degenerate inbreds.
I bet they hated false flagging.
Gang.
Flag City.
Who did some awful shit in 2011. Now, it's a bit tough to manage all the people that this doc throws at you, man.
It gets you
I got
hard.
9 pages, handwritten pages of notes. It was fucking insane. The center of all this fucking bullshit, though, is the one we mentioned, Sherry Brooks. She had a rough upbringing, apparently molested by her own father. She was taken out of the home and put into foster care, but then would be given back to the mother.
See, that's
years
the thing.
later.
Molested by your own father and you're nicknamed Sugar Babe. You're,
Right.
You're getting the benefit, like Cashman said earlier, dude. Like,
well, that's
making
what's so fucked up is that he called her that, and you would think like that would be like the one name you would never want to hear in your life, Katie. Or is that a thing? Like, why would
if
she?
your dad's molesting you and that's what he called you, would you want that to be your nickname?
Yeah,
the
to
rest
me
of
that
your
would
life?
make me think of that.
I mean, it's pretty clear that Sherry Brooks also is pretty not
mentally unstable.
Well, mentally
Diminished.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you can see that.
Yeah, so her not likely being cognitively capable, she probably doesn't recognize, which is clear with her kissing cousins statement.
Right.
Being raised in a home where there's sexual, physical abuse, people a lot of times kind of normalize it.
That's what
so
happens.
she wouldn't.
Okay.
So she wouldn't see the issue with being called Sugar Babe,
'Cause
with
that's
that
just what
having
it is.
been. It's normal to her.
Yeah,
that's what she
yeah.
was
what it
raised
is.
around. That's her
That's fucked
normal. So even though it's fucked up to us because we likely weren't raised in homes like that. I can't speak for you.
You don't
two.
even know my story. Man.
Yeah, it's like I can't speak for you two. I was raised by him, so I've got a different level of fucked
Look around
up.
you here.
Yeah.
This is a whole different kind of fucked
I
up
was
here.
raised in a different kind of fucked up. But when you're raised around that kind of shit, it's normal
Right.
to you. So she likely didn't even see an issue with it.
And
Right.
I hate to put it in this fucking respect too, because it's kind of fucked up. But certain victims of abuse, molestation, things like that, it's not necessarily they get a pleasure or a joy from what happened that carries on through life. You know what I'm saying? They become the degenerate. The way that she was acting with her kids, with her molesting ways towards them, and how she was so adamant about it and everything.
It's very common for victims of
Yeah.
abuse to then become perpetrators
Abusers, yeah,
because
yeah.
again, they normalize for them the behavior's normal.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So they don't see an issue with it, especially if they don't get help or somebody
Right.
doesn't step in and say, "Hey, that's not normal," or "Hey, you shouldn't be doing that." So it becomes a cyclical issue.
and so
then.
therefore she's fine with Sugar Babe because
That's her norm.
Yeah, that's fucked up. Now, the Brooks family is made up of Sherry, her husband Kevin, who you really never see other than a couple of still shots.
which is the
of
second
him.
husband, right?
She was never married, I don't think,
Oh,
to the cousin.
Oh, yeah.
Getting ahead of ourselves here.
Yeah.
Apparently, he's the opposite of Sherry because he's very shy, but obviously he knows what's going on here and very culpable in this. Can't imagine you being in that house and not knowing what the hell's going on here.
As we continue on, I can't even be imagining being in that house, period.
Yeah, right.
The house as
Without
it was.
taking about
Yeah.
10 showers.
Yeah.
Sherry had 2 kids with her cousin, Danny Bixler. She laughs about it. Katie, you alluded to this, the whole kissing cousins.
They
used to call us kissing
cousins.
Yeah,
but
and
you didn't
laughing
just-
about it.
You didn't just kiss. You fucking straight up fucked and got pregnant.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Her first son, Scotty, who has a different last name, so I think it was the grandparents that raised him. He took their last name because his last name is Emmons. And most of her kids are taken away and then somehow returned to her, which is fucking blows my mind. She's a real fucking winner, and she is just straight up nasty. I don't know how else to describe it. The word was that Sherry was a master of getting Social Security or SSI for her and the kids, and each of them pulling in at the time that the documentary was made like $700 a month
Each of them.
for each of them. So
And
you
plus
start doing
and
the
then
math. There's a bunch of them living there.
Yeah, and then they're bringing friends in that getting SSI checks
Yeah.
the same thing. So there's like how much money is coming into that motherfucker every month? For
Some
that?
serious
gangster.
cash.
That's straight up gangster.
It
dude.
is. And the kids that lived there, I mean, every one of them was like a fucking piece of work. Zachary, Garth
Brooks, baby.
Brooks. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me with that? And then Chucky just sounded like an asshole, didn't
And
he?
he was the youngest one.
Yeah,
Right? Yeah.
I think so. But they just called him Chucky. And then, of course, you had the one that died. We'll get to him in a minute. Now, the nephew, Danny Jr., I was confused because I wasn't sure if he was a kid or not, but I think he was a cousin, and he was the cousin that she was messing with.
Yeah.
His kid.
Right.
But not she wasn't the mother.
Right.
Right, yeah.
So it was like, yeah, this, again, this shit blur. The lines
so
are blurring
fucked
here. I'm
up.
trying
It's
my best to
hard.
stay with it. And Danny had just gotten out of prison because he was staying with them. He was fleeing from the cops in nearby Tiffin. And what made me laugh is every time they said the word Tiffin, they were making it sound like it was some like amazing place. He's all the way from Tiffin.
They weren't.
They're all the way up there from Tiffin.
They don't know. They don't know Finley. They're from Tiffin.
Yeah,
like straight up.
But then I looked
ain't
up
never heard of
Finley.
either one of them.
Finley
Right.
was like 40,000.
Yeah.
And Tiffin's like 20,000.
Yeah.
So I'm like, to me, I thought they were making it sound like it was some cosmopolitan fucking
Like
metropolis
city or
And it's
whatever. I was like, no,
it's this
it's
little
home,
shithole,
man.
man.
Shit.
So anyway, if you're from Tiffin and you're listening to the show, I'm sorry. But you might want to move maybe to Findlay where there's 40,000 people at least. So Ben Roethlisberger from Findlay, Ohio.
Well, and I have to bring it up. Okay, so the guy from Tiger King with almost no teeth, his last name is Finley.
Really?
Oh,
Yes.
that's funny.
Get the fuck
Yeah,
out of here.
no, I'm serious. So I
Nice
saw Finley
tie.
and I was like,
That's
that's
funny.
that guy's last name from Tiger King that has
That would be
no
funny
teeth.
if he's
He has
from
teeth
there.
now, but
Maybe his
Well, right.
his name's John
forefathers.
Finley. Maybe.
Maybe.
That's
Maybe
funny, dude.
That's
there's something in the
hilarious.
water.
Tie in with the Tiger King.
That's fucking hilarious.
So he's fleeing from the cops, Chris. He's only been out of prison 2 weeks. He's already fleeing the cops. He brings his girlfriend with him, who's in love with him. Only been with her 2 weeks. She's in love. A fucking train wreck. And I remember, Katie, when you were watching this, you sent me a text. You were like, did they seriously show the dick pics in the
He was like a child. Wasn't he like an adolescent?
I don't know.
I'm pretty-
Yeah, I would think
something
so.
Like that.
I'm pretty sure he was a teenager.
Yeah.
And they're showing the dick pics. Like, first of all, it's not necessary. I don't
Yeah.
think they were even good quality. And
Yeah.
he's a teenager.
She's like, they weren't even good quality dick
They
pics. If you're
weren't.
gonna send me your dick, make it good, high def,
yeah,
bro.
I mean, at least try. No, and he was like a teenager. Like,
Yeah,
that's
true.
disgusting.
Maybe
The
they-
one with the your name here.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
It could be like the Illuminati funded this program. or
Oh,
something.
sure.
They're like, yeah, dick pics of kids, we'll slip that in.
Now, Sherry had a daughter, Maria, who was taken away at a year old and seemed to haunt her. Blood was found in the baby's diaper, and the cops gave her to protective services. So she brought the baby to the hospital. The baby had blood in the diaper. She claimed she didn't know what happened. Another family member on the documentary said she observed Sherry holding up a baby boy,
like holding the kid
up in the air and
like
sucking his penis.
Dude. Like what the actual fuck is your problem, bitch? I would have fucking killed her right there.
I
dude.
mean, seriously, this chick is nuts,
Put
man.
me in prison for murder if you need to, but fuck that. I will fucking kill you.
She's obsessed with little baby girls and trying to get a young girl from her mother.
Which, of course, losing Maria. That was probably just pissed her off so bad.
Well, that's what it is that the mother that had this baby, this friend of hers, Verna Messersmith, has a baby, which is Vera, the girl that we're talking about.
She tries to take Vera.
Right. Yeah. She tried to take Vera from her mother and didn't work out. And so now Vera, grown up, she's 24, she has a baby, and now Sherry's doing it for that baby 24 years later. So
with her
really
13-year-old son.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and baby girls likely represent some kind of lost innocence on her part from when she was little.
Sure.
And
Which
remember,
makes sense.
diminished capacity mentally.
Right.
She is likely fixating on a baby girl,
Right.
like adults that I've
And
worked
all
with.
she had
Or
was
the one
boys
she
and
lost,
one girl
the one because she was her first daughter and she was very attached.
And if she was really, really creepy, she might have been really, really wanting to molest a baby girl, and all she had was boys before that, so she was excited to go through this process.
It's possible, dude.
That's the mind frame of these fucked up people. You don't know.
You have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, it's crazy.
She did too much weird shit, like I said, with the genitals and out in the bloody diapers. That bitch was whacked.
Yeah. She was trying to get Vera to have a baby with her son Zachary.
Yeah, he was 16 and she was 20.
Well, she was 24 at the time they killed her, so I don't know how old when she got
was
together.
Like 22
Early 20s.
Yeah, because the baby was like a year and a half.
Yeah, something like that.
When she died, yeah.
So if you're not confused, you should be because
we are.
Because Chris, this shit gets like Springer here. I mean, this would be an awesome Springer episode, don't you think?
God damn, dude. Minus the fucking murder, yeah.
Yeah.
The murder and the torture, yeah.
Now Sherry had a son who they called Punky. He was killed by a pedestrian.
As a pedestrian.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
Pedestrian.
As a pedestrian by a cab that struck him on the road. So he's walking on this dark road. He gets hit. This becomes an important part of the story. Vera and Zachary are messing around. Vera ends up pregnant, and Sherry is just ecstatic because she's hoping for a girl. And, of course, she gets her wish with the birth of Willa Dean. One word, Willa Dean.
Now you think Sherry came up with that name?
I don't know, but if that girl doesn't have a mullet, something's wrong. I mean, a girl named Willa Dean needs a mullet. I mean, just does.
I bet you after she got adopted,
maybe they took the Dean off. Maybe Willa or just something told. Maybe she's.
I bet you that's not her name.
Something else, yeah. Anything but.
They probably named her Sherry.
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh, God damn, dude.
Apparently, all the boys, she wanted them to have kids by the age of 16. So that was Sherry's thing.
Which I thought was fucked up, too.
She's like, you go bang in that fucking bedroom, y'all.
You go fuck right now, yeah. Like, come on, I
want grandchildren and specifically baby girls.
But man, how much? Because there was like 2 fucking MOs for her because she wanted the kids, the baby girl especially. Also, she knows any more kids they're bringing in, they're going to get money for those through the state too.
Right.
Because they're all state fucking fed, every one of them. So obviously any kids that come into the picture.
So that's more money that comes in.
So she's just like, cha-ching.
Yeah, it's like a machine, man.
Yeah, because they was gangster.
Now, Katie, if that's not a white trash name, that poor baby Willa Dean, born into a difficult situation. But honestly, though, how much does that have on a child in that sort of environment? I mean, it's got to be just the odds of making it out of that normal have got to be like astronomically small.
Well, first of all, that is a white trash name.
Man, I'm white trash. My name's Chris.
Now, the two are not
Christine.
necessarily dependent on each other. Not every white trash person has a white trash name. But, I mean, you asked what kind of effect it has on a child. It depends. Now, the likelihood of somebody coming out of a situation like that, again, it depends.
Right.
It really just depends on what kind of trauma, what kind of opportunities were presented to that child. If they drop out of school, they stay pretty isolated within other people that are similar to them. It'll just continue.
Normal.
The cycle will continue. It'll stay normalized for them. Now, if that child is able to make connections outside of that,
Right.
and they can kind of see that that's not so normal,
Right.
the more connections that child has to things outside of that, the more likely they are to be successful. And as long as they're presented, I brought up opportunities, as long as they have opportunities of getting out of that, as well as being presented with things showing them that that's not normal, that's what's going to increase that child's success.
Makes sense.
That's got to be the hardest shit, like you said, like, they're brought up seeing that as normal. So
Right.
you have to totally unprogram.
Teach them that,
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
tough
Wow,
at that
this
young
has
age.
been life.
Yeah.
Hey, everything you guys are doing is wrong. What
Right.
I'm doing needs to happen.
Well, and when you're going up against essentially their entire
I'm
support
essential.
system,
I go to work.
you're going against their support, like it's their family. So,
Right.
like, how do you get through? Like, even some of the kids I work with or have worked with in the past, it's hard to come in from the side and be like, stop listening to your family that you've known for 16 years. Like, how do you,
And that you have a trust
unprogram
with.
all
Right.
of that? And really, it's about connection. Like, I could throw 57,000 resources and coping skills at a kid, and it's not going to matter. They don't care, especially
Right.
if it's a teenager or whatever.
Right. Because they're more programmed that's life.
Yeah, this is how I've been. This
Right.
is what's normal.
It's all
to
they know.
me.
And
Yeah.
also teenagers are more apt to not give a fuck.
Rebel.
Yeah.
So it's really more about that relationship. So if you encounter, especially kids, it's really, and you're like, I'm not qualified to deal with this. Make that connection with them.
Right.
It's that connection is more important than anything, and start
sure.
showing them things that's not normal.
Right.
Like, this is what a meal looks like.
Right.
This is what it looks like to have somebody care about you that actually cares about you. Show them those things that are normal and go against what they're being shown that is normal, and give them opportunities to be successful.
Right. Now, once Willadine is born, Sherry appears to be taking charge and calling it her baby. She treats Vera like a slave, and this is so fucking disgusting. Makes her what I'm assuming would be rubbing her feet, but they refer to it as doing her feet. And like multiple people use that term.
Yeah, like, I had to do her feet. Like, wait.
Well, even the friends were saying that. Yeah, they used to make Vera do her feet.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
it was
so this
so
is like
nasty.
a thing?
It is a
Yeah, like
thing.
doing the feet.
They
is a
always
thing.
mention it throughout the documentary. It's fucking nasty. Her feet are like wrapped in gauze.
And it's like you were
She's
talking,
in
like
a
we were talking
wheelchair.
earlier, dude. It straight up looks like pus oozing out of that.
Yeah,
fucking
I mean,
gauze,
you just
dude.
envision it as like these gnarled. I mean, she's diabetic. I'm diabetic, and I have an issue with my foot. Not this, but something like that, I guess.
But you have foot pain,
Right.
But you're clean.
Right.
You take care of yourself.
Right. No.
Fucking, like,
I know
fucking,
that.
come
That's
on,
what
man.
I'm saying. I mean, even with that in mind, this is so far beyond that. I can only fucking imagine how nasty
Yeah.
that shit must look. And how nasty it must be when that gauze comes off. I just want to fucking throw up.
The smell.
So I hope you're eating like spaghetti and you're putting like Parmesan on your spaghetti and about ready to throw up right now.
Or
So
like guacamole. Got
Oh,
some
yeah.
nice nachos.
Oh, damn.
now, Joey, how nasty? I mean, how far down on the shit list do you got to be to have to do
I
Sherry's
mean,
feet?
I
dude?
bet she was having them all do it, like at one point. But yeah, then the more she
Like a
hated
Yeah,
schedule?
them,
Scotty
then
had
they
done
have
the
to-
feet.
Like
yeah.
his schedule.
Dude, me and
Scotty
Chris,
was pissed.
Yeah, he
What do you
was,
got to do?
yeah.
And he said, I didn't
Yeah.
even do her feet.
Angry. He was angry.
Me and Chris watched a spin-off of Trailer Park Boys, the High and on Drug, or what was it?
Drunken on drugs,
The
happy
Drunken
fun
on
time
Drugs.
hour.
You
Yeah,
see
that's
that?
fucked up.
So,
yeah.
but
It's
there's the
pretty
one
fucked
part
up.
where the fucking, Mike Smith's dressed up like that old whore lady, and the dude's sitting there fucking gnawing on her toes.
Yeah.
And That's what I was thinking of with this dude. I was like, oh my god, dude.
I remember that.
But you know that one picture of Vera where it says Vera's doing her feet? She looks like fucking pissed.
Oh, I would be too. Shit.
So like the one picture, the lasting memory you have is this poor girl having to do her feet, and she's like all scowling and everything in the picture.
You guys are forever jaded from foot fetishes.
Yeah.
No, I'm never gonna. No. I've always never. Ever.
I know, but you're definitely not now. Like,
Sherry comes up with this idea to turn her kids against Vera and get the baby from her. She's afraid that Vera will leave with Willadine, since Zachary didn't really want anything to do with her anymore because he was already dating other women. So she has people believing that it was Vera that was with her beloved son, Punky. They talk about this motherfucker.
He was with his girlfriend,
like he's
Heather,
just the
right?
shit. Yeah. And they were walking down that road. Sherry is telling people that Vera is the one that pushed him in the way of the cab. And she wasn't even fucking
She wasn't there. And I don't even think Heather did. He just straight up got hit by a fucking cab.
I think Heather was with him, but
Heather was with him, but
nobody pushed him. It just didn't happen.
They were just on their way to get some fucking drugs.
Well,
and he was walking down the road in the fucking dark.
I mean, you remember a couple of times, what was that, last year on 6 Points Road, where people were getting hit here in Bloomington?
Just talking about that, about this.
I mean, it happens, you know. I mean, it's fucked up. Katie, you know all about this.
Yeah.
Your boyfriend dealing with a situation like that. Somebody just comes right out of nowhere.
Yeah.
On a dark road. I mean, it happens.
Dathan was driving down the street and hit a guy with his car because it was dark.
Really?
Just couldn't
And there's no street lights where he was leaving from work.
And motherfuckers walked down the street with no light, dark clothes. And he was walking down the street with a black hoodie and black pants on, and Dathan hit him on Valentine's Day. No fuck, I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
Holy shit!
And did $4,000 worth of damage to our SUV. Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, and he was all right.
He's fine.
Really?
Yeah.
He went to the hospital, but he's fine. Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Well, that's
so
a plus,
that
right?
shit
Oh, sure.
happens.
No,
it happens.
That shit's fucked.
It happens. So, but she's trying to turn this on Vera. Now, Danny, who was on the run from the cops, this is the idiot that's only been out of prison for 2 weeks with his girlfriend trailing
He went
behind.
out and got in a gang fight in the neighboring town. And
Like idiot.
What?
You're supposed to be like low profile.
Gang, baby.
You just got out, you know. He's supposedly a member of the Crips, which I don't know. They all said
Crips
Punky
are
was a
in
Crip.
Findlay, Ohio. Come on.
I know, it's so ridiculous.
No, man.
Zachary as well, supposedly a Crip. Once Danny heard that Vera pushed Punky in front of the cab, he wanted to kill her. And they also said that Vera took the Kit Kat bar that they had set by Punky's
ashes.
casket.
Yeah.
Like this Kit Kat bar is set by Punky's
Like it was
ashes
for him.
Like he's gonna fucking eat it.
Right.
This little girl's a slave.
Yeah, she's probably starving,
shit,
you know.
sees that like I'm fucking eating it. Fuck you.
So she made a big deal about that, like it was disrespectful. Then she makes a big deal about this brick that hit her foot when they were doing something outside of the house, and supposedly it was Vera's fault that the brick fell.
It was a fucking rabbit.
A rabbit hutch.
Yeah, they were cleaning the rabbit cage.
Oh,
and
that's
they
right.
were
Tarp
saying,
over it
how
and
fucked
shit.
up is it that you have the fucking rabbit outside and you got the pig and fucking all
Oh,
this
yeah.
Oh yeah, they had Vera.
That's
They had
true.
poor Vera sleeping with a damn
Yeah.
pig in a
which
closet.
would shit
Yeah.
all over the place.
Yeah, that's
She had to
fucking
deal with it, and they
nasty.
made her sleep in it and shit.
Yeah, that's fucking nasty.
Yeah, that's fucking not cool.
So she's trying to do all this stuff to build this case against Vera to get the kids upset with Vera. She even tried to force Vera, I thought this was so fucked up, to give birth a whole month
Give
early
her
so
castor
the
oil.
baby would be born on her birthday.
And it almost worked.
Almost,
It
it was a
almost
day
did.
later. It was a day after.
3
her-
bottles. They would give 3 teaspoons
Yeah.
to the pregnant women back in
Right.
the day.
Right.
3 bottles? Like, what
Yeah.
the fuck?
Yeah, she gave her the 3 bottles, and it was supposedly like an old wives' tale that it would induce labor. But like you said, Joey, when they did it, it was only a small bit.
Yeah, like, what
Not
the
3
hell?
fucking bottles.
She's like, bitch, that baby's coming out.
No, it was
mean,
3 bottles.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
back
yeah,
in the
back in
day,
the
it was
day,
just
yeah,
like
yeah.
3 teaspoons.
And then they were also talking about how that Shannon chick had the miscarriage with the pepper spray
Yeah.
and shit.
Which she wasn't even pregnant.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
No, she wasn't. She wasn't. So she wanted Willadine to be born on her birthday, and that's just fucked up. And the kid was born with problems because she was born premature.
Yeah.
So, Chris, this is just starting to fucking bubble here. I mean, it's like you could tell the way the story is going that this is not going to be good, man.
I mean, obviously, we know what happens in the end, but as you're watching it and you see how it progresses from like, okay, I need this girl to, okay, now I got this girl to this girl doesn't need, the girl that had my baby girl doesn't need to be around anymore. And the son's just like, I want other females. I don't want you around. They were just worried about her getting full custody and leaving with the baby. They didn't want that. So they're like, fuck it. Let's make all these stories up and blame her for it. And the poor girl, 24, with an 8-year-old mental capacity.
Yeah. It's fucked up. It's a horrible thing.
You know, it kept going through my mind.
What's that?
While I'm like learning about, hearing about their story. This is just in my mind. I don't know if this is what was going on. But all I could picture is in their house, she was like in gang life, if a motherfucker fucks up, they catch a violation.
Right.
Right. So I'm like, what if Sherry's in there like, on crip, violate that hoe? And they're like, gotta beat her because that's the gang shit. And the bitch is taking the beatings as violations because when the cops would come at first, she's like, no, I'm staying here.
She wants to stay here.
Wants to
right.
stay
So
here.
it's like, on crip, I take that beating. I don't know, but that's what was going on in my mind.
Wow.
This whole time.
Right.
Because they thought they was hardcore gangsters, so they probably following that crip lit.
Yeah, and even when I mean, I see.
Well, they did have a picture of her with the bandana and shit on.
Yeah.
I mean, the shit's so fucked
It's very
up.
possible, man. It's very possible.
When the cops come over, they're fucking straight up like, can we talk to Vera? And Vera would look at Sherry and have to get permission to fucking talk to the fucking cops and shit.
Oh, yeah.
So
it's fucked up.
Fuck, dude.
Now, Shannon Brooks, who's married to Sherry's son, Michael, was pregnant, as you were talking about. She miscarries. Sherry blames that on Vera because, as you mentioned, Chris, the pepper spray in the house, supposedly somebody sprayed this pepper spray and that caused the miscarriage, which she wasn't even pregnant to start with.
Yeah, they just made that up.
Yeah. And then Sherry would joke with the boys saying that they should kill Vera and put her body on the train tracks and turn her to hamburger. So what the hell, man?
Which I can't remember.
No, there was one of their relatives that did fucking die on the train track.
It did, yeah. That's coming up with the anniversary of that.
Yeah, okay.
Now, Katie, her suggesting this repeatedly obviously is going to influence these boys who, of course, also have diminished mental faculties. So, I mean, just that repetitive, repeating... why don't you do this? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do this? I mean, if they're already slow and they're not really, grasping the true essence of this, I mean, they're I would think they'd be likely to carry out what she's telling them to do, right?
Well, yeah, they'd be really super easy to influence. If she is seen as like this kind of matriarchal figure,
well, that's what they're saying. People were talking about her like a Manson kind of,
right?
Which I don't think so.
Yeah.
What she says in the house, she's managing all their money, she's feeding them all.
Right.
I mean, she could also, especially if she was playing up like, oh, you'll get away with it. Right. She was kind of seen as this person who got away with everything. Like, what would be the risk for them?
Right.
Why wouldn't they? And she's been spending all this time villainizing Vera Jo, like...
Yeah, literally making her the bad person.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I'm trying to think, like, they lived in a shitty-ass town, in a shitty-ass home, like, dirtbag, like, they were getting all this money. What the fuck? Where'd all that money go? I know they were into drug dealing and shit, so I'm sure they were doing as much drugs as they were selling and having to pay for all that. But like, they were all getting all that money.
Just pissing it away on dumb shit.
If I had that much money coming into one household, we could be living good.
Dude, we'd be, like, for real, dude.
Yeah. I mean, it's unbelievable.
We'd have a whole fucking studio making records all day.
Now,
yeah, they were probably spending it on look at Shameless. Like they lived in a dumb
exactly
ass
like
house
that.
too. They
for
were
real,
probably
yeah,
spending it on stupid
exactly
shit.
like that.
Now, another thing about the people in this documentary, as we've alluded to and talked a little bit in our pre-show meeting, the fucking teeth, man. I mean, holy shit.
The lack thereof.
Hey, man, I know I got my issues, but Jesus, fuck.
I mean, dude, it's every single one of them.
At least I got mine taken care of.
Well, right. I mean, that's the thing. I realize sometimes it's hereditary. Sometimes people have a medical issue that causes that.
No, it's the meth.
But this is a meth issue or poor hygiene or both.
Everybody in the that one girl that got pregnant, had the miscarriage, and moved to Kentucky and got away from it all.
Right.
She was like by far the best in the whole thing.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
And the teacher had good teeth too.
Yeah. I mean, but the kids with the missing teeth and that one guy outside the courthouse with like no teeth on the top but like the teeth on the bottom. And it's just fucked up. And it's just that whole, like you said, Chris, the meth thing. I mean, it just fucking tears you up. And these people were just living fucking proof of that shit. I mean, what drugs. The fuck? And the whole incest vibe, you know, like I know we're picking on these people, and some of these kids obviously have, severe issues. But I mean, they've got them on this documentary, and it's like trying to watch this kid with this nervous tick where he smiles all the time. And then the one girl whose eyes were like the size of a fucking BB, and they looked like they were like pig's eyes. I was freaking the fuck out. One chick's teeth were like brown. I mean, like really fucking weird.
One looked like a fucking hacksaw.
Dude, and that one dude looked like he had chiclets in his fucking mouth. That fucking Alan Cap, that fucking guy. Dude, oh my God.
I ain't gonna lie, this is some fucked up shit I'm about to say right now. I took a boarding the first time I toured them. I brought them down to Mattoon, classic ass meth too.
Oh yeah.
It was a good time. We had this party anyway. There's this dude there, and I won't say no names or whatever, but even though they don't really care. But the whole kissing cousin thing, like my buddy and his cousin, like bang, like for real, like they just together, and they're cousins, and they'll tell you. And it was just so fucked up because after telling a boarding that, and they're like, man, we thought we were the ones from Georgia. And like while they're playing, he's like flashing his cousin's titties to him and shit. It was the fucked up shit.
Oh, wow.
So anyway, the kissing cousins, they just like struck back.
Oh, God.
Damn, yeah, that's fucked up. So around the 2-year anniversary of when Sherry's nephew was killed, as you guys mentioned, he was killed in a murder by the train tracks, and I don't know exactly the details of that.
It wasn't a murder. I don't think it wasn't a murder. He just like passed out on the
train.
train.
On the train tracks.
Oh, okay.
Which is what they wanted to make her look like.
Right, exactly.
All that
yeah,
shit.
he just passed out on the train tracks, got
Okay.
decapitated, and got rolled under the train and shit. That's why they were talking about.
I thought it was some sort of murder.
Yeah, that's why they were talking about making it look like hamburger meat, because that's what they said he looked like. And that's why she wanted to put her on the train tracks, make her turn into hamburger because of that, because he just fucked up and passed out on the tracks.
I see. So Danny, his girlfriend Nicole, and Zachary commenced to beating the shit out of Vera over a period of days. During the worst of the beatings, Nicole and Danny would go upstairs and have sex and then come back and beat Vera some more. Yeah. What the fuck? I mean, Nicole's totally into this shit. She was stabbed so severely in her leg. Sherry holds up her forefinger
in the documentary. Yeah,
it goes all the way down to past the second knuckle.
So
I mean, what the fuck?
And she like straight up, I stuck it in there. Like
when she was talking about it, it wasn't even like she was realizing how fucked up a thing it was. She was
just like saying,
something that happened.
Yeah, like it was nothing. Yeah. Unbelievable.
Well, and weren't they beating her with a lock?
Yeah.
Sock?
No, it was on a belt.
It was on a belt. That's right.
They put a fucking padlock on a belt.
Yeah, it was like a master lock.
I'm telling you, man, like all this shit, all the fucked up shit they do, the only times I read about this weird ass shit is when gangs do this shit to motherfuckers. Like, there's other cases, and these motherfuckers thought they were like that. Like,
that must have been the thing, yeah.
So ate the shit up.
It is. Now, people saw Vera during this time, bruised up, busted lips. They didn't do anything. Police are called.
Salvation Army.
I know.
The Salvation Army.
They saw her
across the fucking street.
They saw her.
The fucking street, man.
Yeah, I mean, they had to see him over there all the time. You know what I mean?
They said they saw her.
So they knew who they were.
They said looked like she flew out of a window of the windshield of a car.
Like
yeah. It's unbelievable, man. Now, Joey, this is some fucking horrible shit. They even made Vera eat dog shit and sleep in the closet, as we talked about, with the pig who's shitting and pissing all over the place. I mean, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, I don't know. That's some crazy ass shit. And
wow, Chucky was the one making her eat the dog shit, so the little fucking one doing
Vera,
that to her.
You know, having the mental capacity she did, like, it's just weird because, like, you got all these kids, and we were talking about they grew up in this fucking capacity, so this is what they know, this is what they're going through.
Right.
Vera was 24 before she came into the household, but her mom was friends with Sherry, right? So she was probably always around that situation.
Right.
But it's just like, you would think any situation outside of that home would be different enough to let you know,
Right.
get away or something.
Right.
And she was just there, and and they did the worst shit to her until finally, you know.
Yeah, it's awful. Absolutely awful. I mean, this is just, like I said, just a tough one to watch. And it gets worse here. The documentary even goes as far as to say they raped Vera anally with a plunger and put her own toothbrush into her vagina when she was on the rag and made her brush her teeth with it. I mean, what the fuck?
That's
man?
sadistic fucking.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, that's
what makes you
really
think to do that
awful.
shit?
She was marched around with her head down and beaten, as you guys said, with a master lock, a paddle on her ass. She's punched in the face.
The paddle had a
broke her
3 on
nose.
it. Dale Earnhardt, baby.
R.I.P.
Zachary, Danny, and Nicole were seen on a videotape with Vera that day from that Salvation Army video. They also had her at knife point. Danny's wearing a blue bandana for that whole Crips thing, Joey.
And he had punky shorts
Yeah, he
on.
had punky shorts
He's like,
on.
homie, you with us on this one.
He's such a douchebag. They took her to the train tracks where they planned to kill her, like Sherry had suggested. She was stabbed so many times that they couldn't get the knife through her clothing, so she's forced to strip. And then one of the boys raped her from behind while at the same time the others are sawing her neck or cutting her neck in a sawing motion, almost decapitate her. But she's still alive, dude. 21 stab wounds, Joey.
Yeah.
I mean, what the fuck?
Yeah. Seems excessive.
Yeah, I mean, Katie, this is some of the worst shit I've ever heard. Knowing that she had the cognitive ability of an 8-year-old child just makes this that much worse.
Well, and I think that that's part of why I had such a hard time watching it, is like some of the kids that I work with are might be like 11 or 12, but have the mental capacity of like a 4 or 5 year old.
Right.
So those are, I mean, she could just be a big version of a kid that I work with now.
Yeah.
So I think that's
That
why
would be
it was
weird.
particularly difficult and kids who are like that are like literally statistically 90 times more likely to be victimized.
Right.
I don't have to look that statistic up. I know that because of the job I do.
Right.
90 times more likely to be victimized.
Wow. Now, as Vera is still alive, they left her there on the track, so she's bloody, naked, in the fetal position. And as the train comes in, she's so crunched down, the train actually went over her.
They laid her across it with her head on the
track
railing.
so she would get decapitated.
So
Yeah.
that's why they said that she must have still been alive to crawl into the fetal position enough to get
okay.
off the track. And they said it only missed her by like 3
An
inches.
inch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
Something like that.
clearance of the front of the
Yeah.
train was like
13
13 inches.
But no,
and-
that fucked me up too.
Wow.
And I heard that, like,
I
you know,
didn't
they
realize
originally
that.
wanted
Wow.
her to get her head
decapitated.
Okay.
But no, she fucking crawled
Wow.
into that position.
Which is
That's
fucked up because they
amazing.
said like fucking that her neck was like cut basically
Yeah.
from ear to ear.
Yeah.
So the fact that she wasn't dead from that, dude, then she was able to move that.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's unbelievable. The conductor thought she was a deer,
Right.
but horrified once they realized it was a human. Now, Chris, I can't imagine what it must have been like as those guys on that train having to go check that out and then seeing that it was a person under there like that.
I mean, I couldn't even imagine myself at all. If I was driving a car and I thought I hit a deer and got out and it was a person like we were talking about earlier,
Yeah.
that'd be fucking crazy. Because especially a naked body with stab wounds all over it, you know
something's
that
happened.
something's going on.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's bad.
It is really bad. Now, when the three of them get done, these fucking idiots go and party. Nicole is all excited, telling Sherry, I got my
first teardrop. Yeah, like gang again.
They
like,
were partying because they killed her.
Yeah,
that was their reason for
that's
partying.
why they were partying.
I mean, it's fucking crazy. Danny had the teardrop tattoo. Of course, he acted all badass. Zachary was acting weird, seemed to be upset about what had happened, but Danny and Nicole were happy. I mean, they were partying and laughing.
I said Zachary was like banging his head against the wall, like freaking out.
Yeah.
Like everything was wrong.
They showed the video. He like walked over by himself for a while and just sat on this fucking steps, like all distraught.
Yeah. Now, there was an organization that started, Voices for Vera, and they would picket for her rights and to lock up the Brooks family.
Like the entire family, Sherry, everybody. Because everybody had to be involved in that. If you watch this, you can see these people's demeanor and just how they react to certain things. And it's like, oh, you know exactly what the fuck happened.
Oh, yeah. They knew. Some were more involved than others, but I think they were all involved in some way. Now, Katie, for all the horrible shit in this story, at least the Voices for Vera seem to be one positive thing about it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's good that there's an organization hoping to make a positive change.
Yeah, I mean, you got to try to find some good in it, and at least they're trying to, keep the girl's memory alive, and at the same time, try to focus people's attention on it. I mean, something like this, I mean, who knows? The right person could hear this and want to do something. I don't know what you could do at this point legally, but it just seems like it wasn't, justice was not fully done here.
Definitely not.
Now, Nicole, Danny, and Zachary all tried separately. As a matter of fact, I don't think Zachary got anything. Sherry got convicted of obstruction of justice for interfering with the police, but didn't get any time due to her health and her advanced diabetes.
Wasn't it for telling the cops is like some secondhand story, but it was also a story that she had made up. So she said
I think
heard some shit from somebody, but she had actually made it up or some weird shit like that.
It's something like that.
What the fuck, dude?
Yeah, because they had that goofy story going around that Vera had a boyfriend from Tiffin, and he supposedly beat her up. Yeah. So they were blaming it on this boyfriend, but really there was no boyfriend. Right. I mean, and it's all fucked up.
Which I thought was fucked up about that, because they were all saying the boyfriend was a black dude. So like all these people are white, so now they want to bring a race thing into it, which wasn't true at all, which I thought was pretty fucked up.
It's shitty. I did look up Sherry on the internet.
I bet you did.
I was
you sick motherfucker. God damn.
He could go to her feet.
Oh, damn. That's fucking disgusting.
I bet they need done with Vera Jo gone.
I found that 5 years of probation that she got was not fucking justified. But I did, just out of curiosity, wonder what happened to her, because I didn't hear anything more than she got the probation. And she did do some time in prison for drug trafficking and obstruction of justice, but it was for something other than Vera. She did get 3 years at the Ohio Reformatory for Women, and I believe she got out in like 2018 or 2019. But I'm not sure, because I really didn't find much on this case other than articles in the Findlay paper. That was about it. I mean, it was kind of weird.
If they fucking still have the same house.
I don't know. I don't know. The next time we go to visit Jenny's brother, we're going to drive and we're going to go right by it. Yeah.
Dude, take pictures.
We're going to do selfies in front of that house.
Are you for real?
Oh, yeah.
What if it
Dude,
says Brooks
300 Center Street.
On the fucking mailbox.
Yeah, could you imagine if like Sugar Babe's out at the
because,
porch
like,
or
even
something?
if she went to prison for a few years, there were still other members of the family.
Yeah.
And it's not like...
raking in that SSI, Jack.
I mean, I don't know unless they considered that house a crime scene. Because
I don't know.
Because they know that the beatings and shit happened there, but...
I Google Earthed it, and it's still, at least at the last Google Earth, it still looks the same.
Still there?
It looks exactly the same. Yeah, I'm definitely going by there.
That pig's probably about 13 years old.
Oh, damn. That closet's probably like seeping with poop, yeah.
It's like Joseph Calendar's hole.
Yeah, right? Nicole got 23 years. She worked out a plea deal to testify against Danny. Up to that point, though, she had kept quiet, but eventually cracked and gave in. Danny pled guilty. He got 40 to life, but he can't get parole after 40 years. But shit, he'll be in his 60s, so yeah, he'll be.
Hey man, whatever. I've seen him. They released that one dude that was like in his 70s because they didn't think he'd do anything, and then killed somebody again.
That's true. Zachary Brooks tried to get custody of Willa Dean, but when he went to his first court supervised visitation, the baby went nuts. Wouldn't let him touch her, which is kind of funny.
I don't think it's funny. It makes me feel
well, true.
Dude,
he might have hurt her.
The day after they killed Vera, Sherry went to get custody.
Oh, yeah, the day
Zach.
after.
That's
the
right.
Day after.
That's
yeah,
right.
the day after.
That's right.
And that first visit was only like 15 minutes, and they made him leave, and then he never showed up for the
That's
second.
a good point. I didn't even think of that, dude. I did look him up on Facebook, and there is a page for him. It looks legit, but it doesn't appear to be, that he's locked up at the moment.
Is he throwing Crip signs?
Not in the pictures.
He's
no.
on the blood now, bro.
I believe he got a 4-year sentence for those other offenses, but I believe he's done with that, at least that I could see. Hopefully Willa Dean gets a decent life in the foster system or a permanent situation. Very, very sad story on so many different levels. And guys, anything, Chris, Joey, Katie, anything you guys want to add to this story? I mean,
Man,
I know we've talked a lot about it.
Anything you got, Katie? No?
No.
Yeah, I mean, this is actually a pretty good conversation, dude.
I think so too. And the story is very confusing. When I watched the documentary, I had to watch it like 2 or 3 times just to even understand it. I tried to tell the story in a more chronological way, and I think it was a little easier to follow that way. But that's just me. Everybody tells their story their own way. But I tried to
say, when I watched that, I was so thrown off because of all the imagery and all that, and I think that they were trying to push the video kind of like that, the trash and shit. So kind of like how you said, like if I had came across this podcast while I was doing that research and heard it the way we just did it, would have made a lot more sense.
More sense than the way they backtrack.
And not only that, but like you're watching that shit and it's so fucking trashy that it almost brings a comical atmosphere to it.
Yeah.
When really it is one of the darkest shit.
Yeah, you almost think they're actors playing these like over the top characters. It's real. It's fucked up. Yeah.
Well, and if you watch the documentary and you're interested in more of the kind of psychological stuff behind, like, why is Sherry okay with being called Sugar Babe and some of that kind of stuff, especially with like trauma and sexual trauma, I highly recommend watching the documentary Pervert Park.
Oh, I've seen that.
I haven't seen it.
It's really good, but it talks about this trailer park
in Florida, right?
I think it's I thought it was in Canada, but maybe I'm wrong. It's been a while since I've watched it.
It's fucked up regardless.
It's about this trailer park where it's a community of people
sex
who have
offenders
been,
and shit.
They're sex offenders.
I haven't seen
heard about it.
Yeah, I've heard about it, but I haven't seen it.
It's
I know
really
what you're
good,
talking
but
about.
I actually it was recommended to me by my supervisor at my last job that I watched it because I had gotten a 15-year-old sex offender on my caseload. But, he had a history of being abused and then offended on a family member. And I was like, I'm fine taking that case. It doesn't like trigger me or anything. I just don't have a history of working with kids like that. And she was like, well, I think you should watch this. And so it like talks about a lot of that stuff. Crazy interesting, crazy fucked up, like really sad, but also really informative.
It's like you said, it's informative. It's like, so they put all these fucking perverts in one spot.
Right.
The thing about it is now these guys, they feel a little more comfortable because they're around people that are just like them. So with the interviews and stuff, they're very open to talking about their problems and their issues, which is the very interesting part, even though it is talking about really fucked up.
But it's also rehabilitative.
It
they're still people, right? And a lot of them have been through so much trauma.
Right.
And so what it did for me was it really made them, they're people. And so having that social worker background, and then watching that really helped me kind of understand more of that stuff and help see people like that as people. So if you see this and you're interested in that kind of stuff, I highly, highly recommend Pervert Park because it's really interesting.
Very interesting. Well, the research, as we said, done with watching the documentary Good Night Sugar Babe, some articles in that Findlay newspaper.
Found a few things to read here and there.
Yeah, the Courier had a lot of articles because that was the local paper. There are some things on YouTube, but not a lot. There's not that standard 45-minute documentary that
Bill
we all
Curtis.
love. Bill Curtis, or one of those classic 45, 50 minutes. You got it all in one shot. Nice and neat. It's
I could fall
done.
asleep to Bill Curtis's voice.
Oh,
every
he's
night.
amazing. I remember hearing a story from somebody that did a show with, it had something to do with Bill Curtis, and said that they used to have him read like the most absurd stuff they could find. They would give it to him and have him read it to him, like directions on how to put like a
Like a
entertainment
cabinet
together. Put part A in B, you know, and he would do it with his voice. They would just sit there and die laughing.
awesome.
And said he was really like funny about
That'd
it.
be
Like,
hilarious.
He made it more, you know, dramatic and stuff. I could see doing that shit with James Earl Jones
Yep.
too. That'd be the shit.
Right.
Or Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman.
You know, these
Bobcat
kids-
Goldthwait.
Yeah, there you go. Sam Kinison.
Samuel L. Jackson. Now put that motherfucking ball in that motherfucking hole.
So definitely, you know, there is some stuff out there, but really, Goodnight Sugar Babe's the one to watch. Depressing, but captivating at the same time. Now, next week, we're going to do a feature on a very well-known serial killer, one that I was closer to than I care to be, the son of Sam, David Berkowitz.
The 44 caliber killer.
That's right. Not the screen door intruder.
No,
no,
not-
that's lame, dude.
and not the what was it?
The anesthesia.
I can't remember the
goddamn-
anesthetist.
Oh, the fish one?
No, remember
the Matt Gaster.
Oh,
Matt-
yeah.
The
anesthetist.
guy.
Phantom anesthetist.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
it. That was it. The Phantom Anesthetist.
Yeah, whoever brought that up at the meeting had to be just kicked in the balls, man. Come on now. Screen door intruder. Jesus Christ.
Fucking Richard Ramirez was like, I'm quitting. That's a terrible
I
name.
should get a Ramirez shirt with the screen door intruder.
Oh my
on it.
God! New Goremonger shirts.
That would be
Oh, you
awesome.
should do that. That would be awesome.
So it's definitely going to be crazy with the son of Sam. He terrorized New York City in a very stressful summer of 1977. I was living very close to there at the time. My grandparents both lived in the Bronx. And I remember being outside. I was 10 at the time, and they would tell us to get off the streets at dusk because he was not caught yet. It was pretty fucked up, very terrifying. So I can hear that intro music now in the
Fuck
background. Got CK, that great metal motherfucker. So
Let's get our fucking metal on, motherfuckers.
Known the world over as the master of metal, the crusher of posers, and Murder Metal Mayhem's knower of all things metal, hailing from Wild Man Street in Danbury, Connecticut, standing at 6 feet of brutal, punishing madness, weighing in at 220 pounds of poser pulverization, the one, the only, toughest bastard on the planet, Chris C.K. Kovacs!
I got the great metal motherfucker on the phone. What's up, CK?
What's up, guys? What's going on?
Not shit. What's going on Wild Man Street, homie?
Hopefully it's not like 300 Center Street in Findlay, Ohio. Fuck. God damn.
Why, what
Some
happened
dirty
there?
motherfuckers,
Oh,
man.
you'll hear when you. it's 'cause you said, yeah, you'll hear.
Oh, God.
Yeah, you'll hear all about 300 Center Street, man. Oh, my God. All right. Well, we are doing our
Hey, you
Mother's
know what's
Day.
fucked up? I just
What's
thought about
that?
that.
What's
Something
that?
fucked up happened to me on Center Street in Bloomington. Well, not to me, but sorta.
Okay.
Is that
Center
where you
Street-
got your DUI?
No,
Oh.
no. So, the old lab where I used to work, fucking, that's where it collapsed, dude. Like, there's people in the building, and that was Center Street in Bloomington, dude. The fucking, our building didn't collapse. The building beside us collapsed and caved our building in. It went all the way out on
yeah.
the Center
Oh,
Street
on the
and all that
overpass
shit.
and
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, dude,
That's
it was
true.
Yeah,
I remember
I just
that.
thought about that. That was on Center Street.
Yeah, that was pretty brutal. Now, since we're doing our Mother's Day episode, CK, you decided to do a band that was a female-fronted band. And so you came up with a very interesting one because none of us really know a whole lot about this band at all. So kind of excited to hear what you got to say, man.
It's an interesting story, a tragic story. But the band is called the Plastmatics. fronted by the one and only Wendy O. Williams, and that is her real name.
Oh, okay.
Her real name is Wendy Orlean Williams, and she was actually born in Webster, New York. I'm just gonna get into a very little of her beginnings because it's an interesting story with this whole band, with her and everything. She was born in Webster, New York. Left home at an early age. Didn't finish high school. Left home at 16 years old.
Wow.
I guess she ran away or just left. Growing up, she was a very quiet kid. She actually appeared in Howdy Doody as a tap dancer in.
No shit.
Yeah, I forget what it was. Some part of the Howdy Doody show. She was tap dancing in.
Howdy Doody's old school. Some motherfuckers might not know about no Howdy Doody.
Yeah, that's true, man. That's old school
if
for
you don't
sure.
know Howdy Doody, look it up.
Puppets.
But she left a home where her father was a chemist for Eastman Kodak. Her mother was a typical stay-at-home mother. She left home. She made her way to Colorado, earning money by crocheting string bikinis.
Nice.
So
Nice.
she wasn't no Eileen Warnos leaving home hitchhiking.
No.
Was she
No,
selling?
she eventually traveled to Florida, Europe,
That makes
landing
sense.
jobs as a lifeguard, a stripper, a
Was
cook.
she selling what, Cashman?
I was just gonna say, from New York to Colorado, was she selling a lot of string bikinis
Right.
in those areas?
Yeah, right. Kansas.
Crocheted ones at that. They sop up the water.
In 76, she made her way to New York City. She found an ad for put in by a dude called Rod Swenson, who was a Yale graduate of theater, and he came up with this idea of this theater art thing that he had. I forget what it was called. Give me 1 second. It was a show called. God damn it.
That was a good show. God damn it.
God
Yeah,
damn, it's a fucking awesome.
I like Goddamn It too myself.
Captain Kink's Sex Fantasy Theater.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm interested in that. Holy shit.
Captain Kink, huh?
So she applied for that. She got together with Rod Swenson, who they eventually became boyfriend and girlfriend. Pretty much till the end. And she was doing sex shows and stuff like that. She wasn't a prostitute or anything. It was just those sex shows in Times Square and how like that. If you'd ever been to Times Square in those times, it was a fucked up time back
Yeah,
then.
big time. Yeah, pretty rough.
And he decided to form a band, eventually called the Plastmatics. Now, I'm not going to go through each member, but basically the band was revolved around Wendy O. Williams.
Being
And
the front.
the core was West Beach. Chris Romanelli on bass for most of the part. Richie Stotts on lead guitar. And on drums it was two people. It was Ray Callahan and T.C. Tolliver at different times. And they formed, and they were kind of like more of a punk band in the beginning, and eventually, played CBGBs doing originals. And they got so popular that they were playing CBGBs one night a week and selling out. Eventually they were doing 3 or 4 nights and selling out, and crowds were going around the corner.
Wow.
I know CBG's, obviously, we've talked about them before with other bands.
Legendary, yeah.
Super legendary place. So
And this is when, like, right around when CBG's first opened. So it was pretty in the infancy of the club days.
Right.
They got so big that they started playing the Irving Plaza, which at that time was a Polish center, kind of like a Polish community center, but it was pretty big. And they had concerts, and it was a polka center. So they started playing that, and then their shows started to get sicker to where they were smashing TVs, doing anything outrageous. Yeah, anything outrageous they possibly could. They were blowing up fucking cars.
Damn.
This sounds like
Sounds like a party out at Shawback.
Yeah, we never blew up cars. We flipped them over, and then the smashing TVs out at 420 Fest.
Oh, yeah.
Like you guys were headlining. We had porn playing on the TVs, and when you guys got done, we smashed the shit out of them.
Yeah, moshing on it.
Motherfucker went all the way through his boot and sliced his foot wide open.
That was bad, man.
Smashing amps.
Yeah,
stuff
right.
like that.
Nice.
And if you remember when I was talking about Twisted Sister, how they played a place called the Palladium.
Right? Yeah.
And sold out without being signed.
Yeah.
Well, Plastmatics were the first band to do that ever in the Palladium.
Nice.
Selling out without any major label backing, without any major backing. Pretty much fronting the money themselves. I mean, for the most part, record companies were afraid to sign them, especially American record companies. Were kind of standoffish. Because at that time, punk was in its infancy, metal wasn't that popular. Eventually, Stiff Records out of England finally signed them, and put out their first album, which was The New Hope for the Wretched. And they toured behind that record, doing 6 shows, having issues where they played. I believe Wendy got arrested a couple times for indecent exposure.
Titties.
She was she's like the female Gigi Allen and shit.
Right, that's what it sounds like to me. The female Gigi Allen, straight up.
Yeah, but they weren't assholes. Like Gigi was a fucking asshole.
Oh yeah.
Right.
You know, I never got Gigi Allen. I never liked his music. I never understood why people thought he was so cool. I thought he was a fucking...
Because he shit on himself and ate it?
Yeah, it was pretty fucked up, man.
He was a douchebag asshole. And in the end, he lied. He was like, I'm going to kill myself on this day, this day. He never did. He fucking died from heroin overdose.
And they partied with his body for like fucking 6 hours.
Right.
Yeah. But they recorded that album, did pretty well. Eventually, it was released in America on Stiff America. They recorded a second album, but because they spent so much money on touring and on the first album, they were given the ultimatum that they had to record the second album within 3 weeks.
Damn, 3 weeks?
3 weeks.
God damn, you're a woman. Could you do it?
No, fuck no.
And it had to be Rod Swenson producing because they didn't want to pay. They wanted to keep the album as low budget as it could to save money, because Not That Stiff was a huge label to begin with.
Right.
I'm sure.
They put out Beyond the Valley of 1984, another great album. And the legend of the Plastmatics just increased even more, to the point where, getting ready for the third album, they were approached by Dan Hartman. And you're probably going to ask me who Dan Hartman is, correct?
Yeah,
who's Dan Hartman?
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Dan Hartman, if you want to know, and this is a little tangent, but I'll get through it quick. Do you remember the song Frankenstein by the Edgar Winter Band?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember the song Free Ride by the Edgar Winter Band?
Yep.
He was the bass player and singer on that song, played bass on Frankenstein, and was in the Edgar Winter Band, who at the same time had Ronnie Montrose in it. And if you want to know who Ronnie Montrose was, he eventually left Edgar Winter to form his own band, Montrose, who had a singer called Sammy Hagar.
Yeah.
Right.
But anyway, Dan Hartman went on to go solo, and he had that hit song "I Can Dream About You" in the mid '80s.
Oh yeah.
So you figure you have him, who's a pop artist for the most part,
Right.
and he has interest in producing the demos for the next record for the Plastmatics. And
That's cool.
That's what kind that's how much they attracted people, because they were different. And in '83 they went in to record the demos for Coup d'Etat, which is the album that pretty much broke them through. Coup d'Etat, Dan Hartman produced the demos, but when it came time they were signed to Capitol Records, they actually didn't use those demos and went to Germany and recorded with Dieter Dierks, the Scorpions producer. So that album had a little bit more of a metal sound. It had that song "The Damned," where the video, if you never saw the video, go watch the video. Right then, that shows you how fucked up Wendy O. Williams was and the Plastmatics were. Because the video shows her driving a bus towards, I think it's like Cars on Fire or something like that. She gets out of the bus while it's running, doing like 50 miles per hour, climbs up on top of the bus, and right before the bus is going through the cars and exploding, she jumps off, doing all the stunts herself.
It's like some Mad Max shit.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, she's fucking crazy, man.
So, so they recorded Coup d'Etat, and that album did really well. And to tell you the truth, that was the first time I actually heard of them, and that's when I got into them. And that was only because they did a cover of No Class by Motorhead. But then I eventually heard the song "The Damned," and I got the album, and I love that album. I love that album to this day. Eventually, they did release the demos from the album with Dan Hartman a couple of years ago, and that album is actually, people say, is better than the polished Capitol record. It's a little more sleeker.
And that's the demo that they say is better?
Yeah. They said it's just a better sounding album.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And I agree, it actually is. It is a little bit better than the actual album, but both are good. If you listen to either or.
Now, I've heard a few demos of other bands that I thought the demo was better than the actual album that was the same thing. Like when we were talking about Deicide, the Monomrod, or the Amen fucking album.
The Amen demos were really good.
Were fucking so badass. And then the one when the actual Deicide album came out, I was like, yeah, this is good, but I like the old version better.
Yeah, the raw. Sometimes the rawer stuff is a little bit better.
Right. I think it's interesting too to see the original idea.
Yeah.
And then how it changes to what the finished product is. Sometimes you like it. Sometimes, like you guys are saying, sometimes you prefer the original of it. You know, it's cool.
But after that album, for some reason, Capitol Records soured on the Plastmatics, and there was a time where they didn't want to put anything out for him, leave him in limbo. They were trying to get out of the contract. Capitol was going to let him go, but they were taking their time as far as releasing him. So I guess they were approached by Pete and Chris's favorite artist, Gene Simmons of Kiss.
Fucking
because they actually toured with Kiss.
Okay, now real quick, is it true that Gene Simmons put a trademark on the term OJ, talking about orange juice? I've heard that before. Is that just like an urban legend?
I've heard it. Yeah.
No, I heard he's tried to trademark a bunch of shit.
The dude's got enough money. He can do that.
Tried to trademark the devil horns that supposedly.
Well, why would he? Yeah, not that
Dio
Dio came up with it, but that's Dio's thing.
Yeah.
Like Dio,
Right.
Dio made it what it is.
Right.
But he was going to trademark those and backed off on that.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
He's just a dick.
Yeah, he
I
is.
mean, I'm a Kiss fan, but he's a dick.
Yeah, I can't stand him.
Kiss my dick.
So what they did was to not get sued by Capitol during all this mess. They recorded a new album under the name Wendy O. Williams, or WOW. And for the most part, they used Plastmatic members, but other musicians such as Vinnie Vincent and Ace Frehley, and I believe Gene Simmons played bass on the tracks. They recorded the WOW album, which was it was a really good album, and it was put out by a small label, Passport Records. And it actually did really well. It was a little bit more commercial than most Plastmatics albums in the Plastmatic sound, but it was actually a decent album. And eventually she put out a second album, Commander Chaos, which went back to the Plastmatics, heavier, angrier sound, faster sound, and was pretty much back to the old school Plastmatic sound. It did really well. And another thing I want to mention is she's supposedly partly responsible for Fast Eddie Clarke leaving. I think I went through this in the Motorhead episode, that she's kind of responsible for Fast Eddie Clarke leaving Motorhead because she did the duet with Lemmy, Stand By Your Man, and Fast Eddie hated it and didn't want anything to do with it.
Oh, okay.
Supposedly that's true. I heard otherwise it's not, but who knows?
Right.
Urban legend. Eventually she retired with Rod Swenson, and he moved to Connecticut, Storrs, Connecticut. And pretty much after that, she had a chill life where she worked as she took care of animals, doing that. She was a committed vegetarian actually since 1966. Very, very healthy lifestyle. And if you looked at her body and her arms, she could probably kick the shit out of most men.
Oh, yeah. She was a tough fucking bitch.
Like MMA fighter style.
Yeah, and she, she pretty much just, had a chill, life after music. Nothing big deal, She worked on working outdoors. She would run every day. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. They lived in a geodesic dome house that they built.
The whole use of the word train tonight has been ridiculous. I know
Like
it's a
I
different
said,
train, but still.
Right.
She became a wildlife rehabilitator.
Nice.
Which she loved animals since she was a kid. But she did have depression issues. She was manic depressive. And she actually, in 1993, she attempted suicide by taking a knife, plunging into her chest or into her sternum, and banging it with a hammer.
Jeez.
What the fuck, dude? Holy shit.
That failed.
I was thinking of drinking my beer, dude. You gotta calm down on that shit.
That suicide attempt failed, and Rod Swenson took her to the hospital, and she got help.
I was gonna say that's when you start getting help. I just tried to hammer a knife into my own body.
That's fucked.
97, she tried it again with an overdose of ephedrine. That didn't work. April 6, 1998, Rod Swenson came home from New York City, found a package that she left for him contained noodles, seeds for growing greens, and some Oriental balm they like, and a sealed letter from her. And it was a suicide letter. And he went out to the woods by their house and found a gun, and Wendy O. Williams committed suicide at 48 years old.
Damn.
On April 6, 1998. Like I said, it it's an interesting story, and at the same time, it's a tragic story.
Yeah, I have to check out their music because honestly, like I'd heard the name before, and then you said you were going to talk about them, and I haven't checked anything out yet.
You got to check them out. They're really good. I gave Pete 2 songs. I actually gave Pete a couple of songs.
Right on.
One by the Plastmatics and one by
Wow
Destruction.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Destruction cover of a Plastmatics.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You were telling me about that. That's right. That's right.
But check them out. All their stuff is, other than the WoW album, which is a little bit commercial, it's a punk metal thing. Earlier, it's more punk, then it became more metal. Coup d'etat was the album. If you're going to listen to one album or get one album by them, Coup d'etat is the album to get. If you want the demo, the album of the demo is called Coup de Grace. Both are available. I would check them out.
That's cool, man. And a good call on Mother's Day special to do a female-fronted band, and she sounded like a pretty fucking wild chick, so that was a good one. CK, you had a lost classic for us, don't you?
And you're going to ask me, why am I doing it by a well-known band? I'm doing a lost classic by Black Sabbath, actually. Because I don't think this album got the praise that it should have gotten. I think it kind of got lost in the times.
Yeah.
I think when everybody heard that Ronnie James Dio was coming back, everybody got excited. Then when the album Dehumanizer came back, it was put out, people heard it, and it was forgotten about.
Yeah, it's a good one, man.
I think
when you think of Ronnie James Dio and Sabbath, you're thinking of Heaven and Hell, and you're thinking of Mob
Rules, right?
And Dehumanizer gets left kind of like, and that Dehumanizer is a great friggin' album. I don't know if I'm not saying it's as good as Mob Rules or as good as Heaven and Hell, but it's a great album, and it got lost in the times because it came out, I think, in '91. And I think it just got lost in the times of when it came out.
I think it's sometimes to do with age group too or whatever, because whenever it came out, I was younger or whatever, but me and my friends, that was a big album.
Give me a couple title tracks off of that album.
God, give me 1 second.
Why don't you just put in Black Sabbath Dehumanizer?
No, that's what I'm doing right now, dude.
They had the song from the I think it's either Wayne's World 1 or Wayne's World 2.
Yeah.
Wayne's World 1.
I'm pretty sure. That album was fucking badass. I haven't listened, dude. Thanks for I'm glad that's a lost classic because I have not listened to that one in a long time. You said that, I'm like, wait a second.
I'm guilty of it myself because I haven't listened. I started listening to it
because that fucking song is fucking badass to me, dude. Yeah, I like that just popped. Yeah. Guess what I'm going to listen to tomorrow? Fuck yeah, I haven't listened to that so long. So yeah, definitely a lost classic.
Yeah, I think it had Computer God on it.
Yeah, Computer God's track 1. TV Crimes.
I think Time Machine was the one from Wayne's World.
All right, yeah. I'm glad I got CK here to help me remember shit.
TV Crimes, I think, was another tune.
Yeah.
But I was guilty when it came out. I listened to it.
No, when it came out, I listened to it. I liked it.
But I recently rediscovered it 2 years ago.
Right.
And it's one of my favorite Sabbath albums.
That's awesome, man. Definitely a good call on that lost classic. Now, we've been talking about on here, we mentioned it before, get some new Patreon members. Nice to see people joining that 666 Club, getting those benefits. you're stuck inside now with the pandemic going on. What better to get you to join? I mean, you got nothing but time, Joey.
Yeah.
Go to
Stuck inside your
patreon.com/Murder Metal Mayhem. $3 a month for some great bonus content, VIP access, 10% off merch.
And they're going to be doing I don't know who yet, but you're going to be doing a killer that everybody's going to want to hear.
We are. We're picking a high-profile serial killer, and we're going to do an exclusive Patreon-only episode, and it's going to be really cool. So you definitely want to check that out. If you're a Patreon member currently, you can hear the full John Borowski interview we did, which is good.
Oh, yeah.
And we've also got the full Jungle Rot interview that you'll be able to hear. So those Patreon members are going to get stuff before everybody else. And in some cases, nobody will be able to hear it other than people that are joining the 666 Club. So $3 a month. It helps support the show and gives you some cool stuff in the process. So,
fuck yeah.
Well, CK, since we're doing this Mother's Day special, and we're in metal right now, we're changing it up a little bit. We got the rules killer cage match.
Fuck yeah.
Metal style.
This time, we're doing it metal style. All girl. Mother's Day special. We got Lita Ford going up against Wendy O. Williams. So I thought this would be fun. CK, did you like that?
I loved it.
I'm giving my prediction last.
Okay. Well, we got some listeners, Joey, to thank for some listeners that suggested their random numbers for this one.
Yep. Jess Brown, Carolyn, and Chantel Penner.
Awesome. And we come up with a list of 60 killers, 60 objects. And this one, we already had the killers picked. So they guessed, or they contributed their numbers for the 2 objects and the variable. And this time, CK, they're going to be fighting with what?
They're going to be fighting with a can of corn, a brass butt plug,
brass butt plug.
And the variable is
It's a 5-gallon bucket of poisonous scorpions.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
So this sounds like a good one.
I'm about half-mast right now.
Chris...
I mean, a can of corn and a brass butt plug are both basically the same thing.
I was going to say that. I mean, you could kind of go back and forth with that one. I mean,
literally. That's what I was saying.
Oh, man.
Maybe that plunger in the ass don't feel so bad now.
Ow. Damn. Yeah, that was in the last segment, CK. Ooh, that's rough, man. Jesus. So what do you think, Joey? Chris says he wants to go last this time, but we got Wendy O. Williams and Lita Ford just on a physical...
I mean... CK coming with the Plastmatics, info.
Talking about
how badass
is.
she is, because I always knew she was. She was always like he said, and that's how I knew her more. I think from like the fitness shit and her animal rights shit.
Okay,
but Lita Ford, she was a bad bitch, but I don't think like too physical.
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
Now, if it was Tina Turner coming out of Thunderdome, but no, I think I would have to go with Wendy O. Williams, unless possibly Lita Ford might get a hold of the butt plug or the can of corn. She might wallop her with it,
Right.
So
yeah, I don't know, man. I think Wendy O. Williams is gonna whip some ass.
Dude, jumping off a fucking bus.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Like,
what about you, CK? What do you think, dude?
I think you better give Lita Ford every single variable you can.
every object, every variable.
Because I think Wendy O. Williams will take her, pull her face inside out.
Oh, wow.
And rip her guts out. Because Lita Ford's a prissy bitch cunt.
Damn.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Tell us how you really feel, bro.
I hate Lita Ford. I'm being honest.
No, that's all good.
Vixen was so much better.
Vixen. Oh, yeah. Now, Chris, what do you think? I mean, you said you wanted to go last.
All
I mean, what are you thinking here,
here's
man?
where I'm at. Lita and Wendy back in the 80s or whatever, they're just going to be just fucked up at a show somewhere.
Right.
Be like, I'm hungry. They open up a can of corn. They just eat a can of corn.
Right.
And they're like, oh, check out this brass butt plug. And then they're like, we got this bucket of scorpions. What do you do with that? But the scorpion isn't going to bother you if you don't fuck with it. So they're going to make the best lesbian porno music video with scorpions crawling around everywhere.
Okay.
And everybody's going to be like, yeah, that's fucking metal.
Yeah, that's very possible, dude. Very possible. So the scorpions are kind of like a prop.
Yeah, the scorpions are a prop. And then you
Okay.
just get lesbian porn.
Okay.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Lesbian porn wins this battle.
Very good. Yeah, that was a good one. I think it's funny to do every once in a while, mix it up and throw it in the metal segment, do a little metal killer cage match. I think we're all in agreement here that Wendy O. Williams is probably going to win.
Yeah. And I got to add a new thing.
Standpoint.
They're probably
No
going to
contest.
They're probably going to eat the corn out of each other's ass the next day too.
You think so? Oh. Now, any national metal news, CK, we need to get to here?
There's really not anything going on.
There is nothing going
Yeah,
on.
with all this shit happening with COVID-19, man, everybody's like not sure what to do. So
Everybody's
releases.
just doing those home quarantine
Yeah, the live
Right.
shit. Fucking-
jams.
Did you see the one that Armored Saint did with Isolation, CK?
Yeah, I
That
did.
was really cool.
That was awesome.
The first Armored Saint album has a song called Isolation.
Right.
And they recorded it currently with them all isolated from each other with little video. And
who
they
was
made a
it?
music video of it. It's really cool.
Cattle
Yeah, it's very well
Decapitation
done.
did one of those too. Like I think the song's called COVID-19 or
No,
something.
it's not. It's Bring Back the Plague,
Bring Back the Plague. That's what it is.
Huh.
But
which
yeah,
is on Death Atlas.
Yeah. Cattle Decapitation, that whole thing
That's
is pretty
cool.
fucking cool.
Yeah, I mean, people are getting creative now. You have to. You know, you got to think outside the box.
In the words of Texas Dave, that's what they want you to do.
Yeah.
So I think we've educated the masses with some metal tonight, CK. So what do we need to do next, bud?
We are gonna get our Mayhem on.
Good morning, Sugar Babe Family Dentistry, where even one tooth is special. How can I help you?
Well, I got one tooth I need to have polished up. Big Daddy got tomorrow night with my cousin Verlene. She's so pretty.
That sounds wonderful. We've got a special going on right now called the Pandemic Plaque Buster. We shoot high pressure water at 666 psi into your rotten mouth and knock out the 1 year of plaque buildup off your teeth like barnacles off a barge. Can I schedule you an appointment?
High pressure water, barnacles off a barge? What the hell are you talking about?
Little Sugar
hell is
Babe
that?
family dentistry commercial. You gotta love
It's so
that.
good. Dude, Jen and Nate did so good doing
Yeah,
that.
Jenny and Nate did a really good job there. That was funny. And before that, of course, the Plastmatics,
Fuck
the
yeah,
song
dude.
The Damned. Fucking good stuff. CK, good to hear a band that none of us really knew a whole lot about.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
pretty cool
That was a
stuff.
good
Yeah, it was pretty awesome, man.
And I actually had to do research
Oh,
on
I'm
this
sure.
because
Oh,
I
shit.
knew who I've been a fan of the Plastmatics and I knew who they were, but I never really got into them. I mean, I knew a little bit,
Right.
but not as much as I thought.
Right.
So it was actually good for me.
All right. Very cool. All right. Well, boys, we're in Mayhem. And we're approaching 2 hours, so this is definitely a longer show. You never could tell.
Hey, that fucking whole murder segment was tight, though, dude.
Yeah, it was good. I hope you guys liked that with my daughter Katie in here. Of course, we still got CK, we still got Joey Goremonger, and we're heading into Mayhem. And I haven't told the story in a little while. I've been kind of itching to tell this one. Last week we were running tight on time, and I didn't want to try to shorten this thing up because it really is a good one, and it has to do with my day job of training for safety training for people that work with hazardous materials. Okay.
Don't let them lie. It's safety training for glory holes.
So anyway, I've got some students of mine that are from this university here in Illinois that are painters. Okay, they paint, rooms, whatever.
Painters. Yeah.
And so they're pretty wild. And I've done classes for these guys for years, and they're adults, but they do shit like give each other wedgies, fucking pull chairs out
You've
from
never
each
worked
other.
in the construction
Oh,
business.
dude,
like
I've been
that,
in it for 25 years. I know all about it.
Okay,
this takes the
all
cake.
right.
Okay,
All right.
this takes the cake. Okay, because this is the only class I've ever had where not once but twice one student lit another student on fire in the class. In the class, stop, drop, and roll on the floor.
Yeah. Like, you're on fire.
Insane.
You're gonna die.
Okay.
All
yes.
right. Oh shit.
So these guys are nuts. All right. So anyway, I went down there one year and I taught about 25 of them. Then there was a smaller group of like 5 or 6 I taught at a later time. And each year they have to take a class to update their training, a refresher class. And these guys had to take 2 different classes because of the type of classes they took. Anyway, so long story short, a guy from the first group, this guy named Bruce, he's a fucking troublemaker. He's the one behind the lighting people on fire, all this shit.
I just want to kill.
Okay? Bruce is from the first group of students. This guy from the second group of students, this guy named Chris, ironically.
All right.
Chris needs to go get a physical to wear a respirator. Okay, so he has to go to the hospital.
That way he can breathe. Make sure he can breathe through it all right. And
Right,
everything.
make
Yeah.
sure he's physically able to wear a respirator. So he has to go to the hospital. So he has to do a series of things. So he doesn't know where to go. He's never done this before. So the boss decides, and later this was figured to not be a good decision,
Oh, I bet.
to send him to the hospital with Bruce to show him where to go and stuff. Okay? So Bruce takes him to the hospital.
The dude that's always causing shit.
The one that's always causing shit. Bruce takes Chris over to the hospital, and they're going through the different stages of this respirator physical. The very last thing is the chest x-ray, okay? So this guy Chris is sitting in this little small waiting room
Right.
where they told him to wait, and he's sitting there reading a magazine or something, and Bruce comes into the room, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "What?" And he's like, "You got all your clothes on. You're not supposed to have clothes on when you do a chest x-ray." And he's like, "Well, she didn't tell me to take my clothes off." He's like, "You're going to break the fucking machine. You got to take your fucking clothes off." So he listened to him. Strips down completely naked and sitting there reading a fucking magazine. The nurse comes in the room and freaks the fuck out.
I can only imagine. What the
Starts
fuck are you?
screaming and yelling and telling him to cover up, throws a blanket over him and shit. And she asks him why he is naked. And he says, "Because Bruce told me to." And she's like, "Who the fuck is Bruce?" And he looks, and Bruce is gone.
Oh, yeah.
Not only
He's
is he
out.
gone, he got in his truck and drove home. Drove home and left this naked motherfucker in the hospital.
Oh, did he take his clothes?
So the funny part of this story is the guys.
that wasn't funny?
No, it's not over. It's not over. So the guys that do maintenance in the hospital are also students of mine. So I've heard this story told 2 ways.
Yeah.
They're all sitting there eating lunch. They hear a call on the radio of like a Blue 18 or whatever the fuck
whatever their code
naked
is.
guy
Yeah,
in the
yeah, yeah.
radiology waiting room is that they had not even heard. They had to look it up. They
Yeah.
said, "They're like, oh fuck, we got to go see what this is." So they all went down there, and there's this huge commotion. They called the fucking cops. Because this guy's talking about an imaginary person named Bruce who's not even there.
Stop.
They had to call his fucking boss from the fucking university and to come over there, try to sort this out. The cops are there. They're freaking out because he's talking about Bruce. Bruce isn't even here. Who is Bruce? The boss is like, "Well, Bruce is a guy sent over here. Now I'm regretting that decision," he
Yeah.
says. Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, you think so?
So anyway, they get this guy dressed, get him the fuck out. They told him, don't ever come back here again. Like, you're not welcome at this hospital.
You're not
I don't even know if that's possible.
I don't care if you're dying. Don't come back here.
Okay, so they're telling me this story, and I'm laughing my fucking ass. It's fucking funny,
no, it's
right?
fucking hilarious.
But it's not over. So then the next year I came back, and I said, all right, how's Naked? Because they were all the nurses. Everybody called them the naked painter. So I said, how's Naked Painter doing? You know, because the guys in my first class were not the small group with the Naked Painter.
Right.
First group is Bruce and the crazy ones, Naked Painter's in the second class. So anyway, I said, how's Naked Painter doing? They said, not real good. I said, well, what's up with Naked Painter? Well, here's the deal. Apparently he was a fucking drunk, okay? And his wife gave him an ultimatum that he had to stop drinking or get out, you know, one of those.
Right.
So he stops drinking. He's doing good. You know, he's got his shit together.
Right.
It's snowing out one day at work, so the boss decides to start sending guys home. So he lived out of town. So they sent him home first. So he gets sent home at like 10 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, shit.
Okay, Chris, he's got nothing to do.
Oh, shit.
He lives in
I know where this is going.
He lives in a town of about 500 people, okay?
I know where this is going.
He goes and gets a fifth of something and gets fucking hammered, okay? And passes out on the floor. His wife comes home from work and freaks the fuck out and thinks he like had a heart attack or something.
Because he's just laid out.
She calls 911, okay, in a fucking blizzard.
Dude ain't been drinking for a while, so she's not thinking he's drunk.
She's not,
Right.
She's not thinking that.
If you put down the whole fifth and you ain't been drinking in a while, you're going to get lit up fast as fuck.
So he's passed out on the floor. She calls 911. The fucking ambulance guys risk like life and fucking limb to get there because he lives in bumfuck Egypt.
Right.
They get him to the fucking hospital, like a 15-mile hell ride to the fucking hospital. They get in the hospital. She's a fucking wreck. The doctor comes out of the room and she's like, you know, wondering what's going on. And he's laughing, you know, and she's like, are you laughing or crying? And he's like, no, I'm laughing. She goes, is he going to be okay? Is he going to live? And he's like, he's going to live. He'll be fine. He's just drunk. You know? And she's like, what? He's like, he's drunk, ma'am. He's like really stone drunk.
Stupid drunk.
So she goes running in the room and she's like smacking him and hitting him and shit, throwing shit at him. And they're like pulling her off him.
Hospital.
Pulling her off him. And the nurse comes walking in the room and she looks at him. She goes, aren't you the naked painter? And the wife is like, what? Freaking the fuck out. They're like pulling her off. They almost had to call the cops to get the fucking wife to leave him alone. Yeah.
I bet, dude. Holy fucking shit. I bet. All right.
So that's some naked painter there. So yeah, it's pretty good story.
Is he still married?
I haven't seen these guys in about 5 years because I haven't won the bid to do their training for 5 years, so I'm dying to know whatever happened to the naked painter.
That's fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah, but Bruce, I'm still friends with on Facebook. Actually, he still comments and shit on stuff.
Yeah, that's bad.
It's pretty funny. So anyway, that's my story on the naked painter. Chris, did you say you had one you wanted to do? Or?
Man, I don't know if I want to fucking follow that up.
That was a good one, right?
Yeah, that was pretty fucking good. Mine's self-deprecating, but I'll tell it.
Go ahead,
short.
dude. Go ahead.
It's short.
Go ahead.
So, like, back in the day, it's been a long time. I was in my 20s. I'm in my 40s now. It's probably 20 years ago.
There you go. Good math. Illinois.
It was less than that. But anyway, point being, I had this goddamn Jeep Cherokee, right? And I would just drive that thing fucking everywhere. And at the time, I was dumb. Did dumb shit. So me and one of my buddies, we both live in Bloomington. We're in Pontiac hanging out, fucking somebody's house, whatever. We're hanging out. We get all drunk, and I'm like, fuck it, let's drive back to Bloomington. So it's like, cool, we're driving back to Bloomington. So it's me, my buddy, and this girl starts riding back with us. And we're driving along, fucking smoking weed while we're driving, fucking being stupid. Like I said, I was in my 20s, fucking blah, blah, but we're going down the road, down this country road, and I'm just driving at this point. It's like, whatever. I'm going down the road. My Jeep feels funny as shit. I'm like, what the fuck is that? I look back, and homeboy's fucking old girl in the back of my Cherokee. He got the seats laid down, just banging the shit out of her in the Cherokee.
Nice.
So the Jeep's just like kind of bouncing up and down, going down the road with the flow of what they're doing. I'm like, all right, hell yeah. So I'm like fucking, I like give it a little bit more gas, and then I put it in 4-wheel drive, and I just turned down into the ditch.
Nice.
I fucking jumped the ditch, both them motherfuckers, his dick inside her just bounced and hit the ceiling of my fucking Jeep, dude. And they fucking come slamming back down. I was like, yeah, motherfucker, that's what's up. And then I fucking just stopped my fucking Jeep in the middle of the field, and we both tag teamed her at the same time. So
ran a train.
Yeah, we ran the train. We ran that train.
Train.
So like we did that. So we're like, fuck yeah, let's go back home. We're gonna do this. And this is like I said, it's short. So we just drive back to town, drinking and smoking like idiots. Fucking get back to town, get to our apartment, park in front of our apartment, tag team her again with the girls we were seeing inside such apartment.
With Michael.
Yeah, with Michael.
Wow.
Yeah. It was pretty fucked up, dude.
Apparently, yeah. Apparently.
Like back in those days, it was stupid.
Well, that's that sounds like a good time.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Sounded like Naked Painter would have maybe done pretty well in that situation.
Dude, Naked Painter, like, I'll join. I'm already fucking naked.
You know, Chris got a new skill. Like he's a published author now, right? We know that.
Right.
Shawback. He's also a dentist.
Oh yeah.
Within 1 week, last Friday and then last Thursday, I saw him pull 2 teeth out of Michael's face.
Yes, I did.
Damn.
I got video of it.
Yeah, and we got
Well,
video.
one of them.
Wow.
But that's also, those 2 were 2 and 3 of 3.
Yeah, that's the third ones. Yeah,
I'm magic.
he's a dentist.
Damn, apparently. I don't think I'll have you do any work on my teeth, though.
I got you covered, wagon. I got a drill and a pair of pliers. That's all we need.
Now, CK, you're going to be doing a little video on Thursdays, apparently, here on the Facebook page. I've been doing those Friday 420 live videos, and CK, you're going to be doing one on Thursday. What's that all going to be about?
I think what I'm going to do is basically album reviews.
Okay.
And maybe new releases, stuff
That's
like that.
cool.
I'm not sending you my CD now because I don't want you to do that. I'll send your money back after.
I'll hold off on it.
That's cool, though. And you have a time, or around a time you're going to do this, or will you let us know on Facebook?
I think we'll make it a collective 420.
Okay.
Which would be 4:20 Eastern Time, 3:20 Central Time. I actually did a really quick test today to make sure I wouldn't fuck it up. But,
yeah, I saw you doing that, but
then,
I wasn't able to hear anything. I don't know what you.
Yeah,
but you were able to do it.
I was just. Yeah, I did it, and I just
That's
took it
cool.
off. I was just to test
Cool.
it. So
yeah, it's easy to do.
yeah, so
More metal shit coming out.
give
Whatever.
the
Yeah, that's cool.
more metal. Give us more. Hopefully we'll get more fans for the
Yeah,
podcast.
that's awesome, man. And Chris, talking about getting you in on that too.
Yeah, I haven't figured it out yet. I don't know if I can keep up with the whole 420 time.
No, that's all right.
Like,
you don't have to do it at
multiple
that
reasons, but the big one is
Well, it doesn't have to be at that time. It could be whenever. I just thought it would be cool for our listeners to be able to see more of us and do stuff like that. It'd be fun. So if you come up with an idea or just want to randomly do it, you've got the ability to do it if you can with your phone. So
fuck yeah.
All right. Well, the coffee table book that should be nowhere near a coffee table. We put that out back at the end of last year, it was beginning of January, wasn't it? Maybe it was January. Yeah, I think it was
December, January.
I think it was January. And so it's an activity book, little serial killer coloring, some word searches, all serial killer and
Buy
murder
that shit
related.
up, promise you, you'll fucking love it.
Some fucking pubic hair.
Some
Yeah,
pubic
count some
hair.
pubic hairs. The book
it's
is
stuck in my
for
goddamn
sale
teeth.
off our website. And we'll link to that in the episode description so you could do that yourself. But $10.
I hear them coming for you, CK.
I hear the sirens, yeah.
Who'd you kill?
I don't know if it's that or if it's for fucking birthday.
Oh, yeah.
Because they've been doing those.
shit.
Right.
That's true. I forgot about that. Yeah, so this book, we'll link to it in the episode description. $10 plus $5 gets it anywhere in the U.S., and so if you want to support the cause and have some laughs in the process, check out the coffee table book that should be nowhere near a coffee table. So, all right, well, I think we did some good mayhem tonight, told some tales. Let's hit that outro, boys.
Poison clouds in the air. Breathe and take your only care. It's a nightmare, not a dream. Death amphetamine.
Fuck
Exodus.
yeah. Exodus. Fucking death amphetamine. Fucking brutal. All right. That's what Rob Duke's singing, too.
Death amphetamine is what the whole Brooks family was taking.
Yeah, for sure.
That's exactly what was going on. Holy shit.
Big thanks to my daughter Katie for coming in and
Hell
doing that
yeah.
murder segment with us. That was cool. She brought in some insight into that fucking crazy story with her expertise in dealing with troubled kids and her job. Very stressful, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
Dealing
dude.
with that.
Dealing with all kinds of them situations. I couldn't even imagine, man.
Yeah. Bumper music by the Plastmatics, Exodus, and Skinless. Of course, always good to have you in here with us, Joey, doing some Goremonger stuff. You got your new album coming out. So
Yep.
when is the...
Road Not Taken. It should be at my house any day now.
Awesome.
Yeah, I've had more than a few people sent me the money already. I don't really do pre-orders because it's just like I don't like having people's money without, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Anything can happen in between.
Sure.
But I was like, whatever. Like, they'll be at my house. They're gonna make it. But
Right.
like CK ordered one, and
Awesome.
quite a few people. And plus, I'd gotten new T-shirts too. So people were like, "Oh, well, let me get the shirt and the CD."
Right,
Those new
right.
shirts are sick. You seen the new shirts?
I think I saw a picture of one of them.
With a
Yeah.
shark on it.
Oh, yeah. I
Support
did
the
see.
Goremonger.
Yeah.
Fuck yes.
That's
support
awesome,
the
man.
Goremonger, man.
That's very cool. CK, your intro music is by who?
Boys to Men.
Boys to Men. Nice. I thought it was Chris Cross.
Chrysix.
Chrysix Crossix.
Every time I see their band name, I always think of Crispix, the cereal. You
Oh,
know?
Crispix. Little Murder Metal Mayhem intro music by
98
Chris?
degrees.
98 degrees, baby.
That's motherfucking low 12, baby.
98 degrees. Oh,
I had to
fuck.
throw a number in there, dude.
Right, 12
It's just like,
degrees. You want to
fuck,
definitely
dude.
check out spellboundeffectsandart.com for their incredible online catalog. Silicone body parts, hands, feet, fingers, heads.
let me
It's
do
been
your
a long
feet.
day.
Let
Yeah,
me do
do
your
your
feet.
feet. Oh, God, that sugar babe. It won't stop, man. It won't stop.
What if you get a leg fucking carved by
Oh,
Tony
Sugar
with Sugar
Babe.
Babe's foot?
I'm terrified to watch this.
You gotta watch it, dude. Tony has amazing Ed Gein inspired stuff like human skin lamps, aprons. My God, it's
And
fucking
the unveiling
endless.
that we're going to have, you motherfuckers.
Oh, you guys are gonna shit when
Oh,
you see
not
this
even-
fucking
That's
thing.
all I'm going to say.
Did you see the vest he did?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, how fucking
Yes.
sick would the vest and the hat be, dude?
I want the hat. I need to buy it. God damn it.
Oh man. So spellboundeffectsandart.com. Man. Thanks to everybody out there listening. We do appreciate it. It was awesome hitting that 200,000 mark so early. So thank you. We continue to dominate, and see how many of you are getting your murder on each week definitely makes us want to keep doing this shit.
We got 3 more episodes to tack on more numbers.
Yeah,
I know,
man,
right?
keep racking
Fuck yeah,
that
dude.
shit up. So, Chris, who's the first one here?
We got Larry Snyder says the Warnies episode was great. I'm from Austin, Texas, and stumbled on you guys one day on Spotify, and I've been hooked on now for 2 days. I've been hooked now solid 2 months. Shit, yeah. Really good stuff. Keep it going.
Awesome,
so
man.
Fuck yeah, dude. Sorry, my computer's a little far away from me at the moment. My eyes are dry.
That's fine.
But yeah, Larry, fucking keep on going on, dude.
That's awesome,
Hell yeah,
man.
thank you, man. Appreciate
Joey,
it.
what's the next one, dude?
Deborah Cobb 81 commented, I really love the Killer Cage matches. Those are hilarious. They
Nice.
are the shit.
Yeah, like doing Killer Cage match. It's a lot of fun.
Tonight was fun.
Yeah, the
I made
metal
a fucking
chicks.
porno video tonight.
Raging Metal 666 comments, hails from Finland. This show rules. CK is the great metal motherfucker. That's very nice of him to say.
That's the name they gave me.
That's awesome. And then CK, what's that last one, dude?
Slayer's God 666 commented, I just found out about you guys from a girl I know. I've been listening now for a month and she blew me off, but I got you guys out of the deal, so I don't give a fuck.
I love that, man. It's fucking cool, man. Slayer is God 666.
Right,
It's
he's
fuck
like,
it.
This bitch, I was banging her, and then she's like, fuck you. And I'm like, whatever. I got Murder Metal Mayhem out of it.
That's right. That's right.
At least I didn't get you pregnant, ho.
That's awesome.
Don't forget to check out murdermetalmayhem.com. Listen to all those episodes and bonus content. Also, check out Murder Metal Mayhem on YouTube and subscribe. Follow us on Twitter at Get Your Murder On, and like us on Facebook. Join the 666 Club and support the podcast on our Patreon page at patreon.com/murdermetalmayhem. And we do appreciate the support. Again, links
Yes, we
to
do.
all of this
Fuck yeah.
stuff in the episode description.
Get it on.
I had to destroy another karaoke song this week, and this one,
It's
of
always
course,
destruction.
with Sugar Babe in mind. So crank this shit up. And until next time, keep one foot in the gutter.
And get yourself out of Ohio.
Sugar! Honey, honey! You are my candy girl, and you got me wanting you. Honey! Sugar, sugar! You are my candy girl, and you got me wanting you. I just can't believe the loveliness of loving you. I just can't believe it's true. I just can't believe the wonder of the feeling too. I just can't believe it's true. Ah, sugar. Ah, honey, honey. You are my candy girl, and you got me wanting you. Sugar, sugar, you are my candy girl, and you've got me wanting you. When I kissed you, girl, I knew how sweet a kiss could be. I know how sweet a kiss could be. Like the summer sunshine, pour your sweetness over me. Pour your sweetness over me. Yeah. Pour a little sugar on it, honey. Pour a little sugar on it, baby. To make your life so sweet. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Pour a little sugar on it. Oh, yeah. Pour a little sugar on it, honey. Pour a little sugar on it, baby. Make your life so sweet. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Pour a little sugar on it, honey. Ah, honey, honey. You are my candy girl, and you've got me wanting you.